Very good. Are we live? Are we good now? Okay, I got the thumbs up. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jim, of course, and this is the Graybeard Podcast. I've got a new producer in the seat today. Pat's out having a baby or something. No, we wish all you guys well, and hopefully, Lomita will come out very soon so we can meet her. But I have my daughter here producing, and thank you very much. So if there's anything that goes wrong, it's all her fault. But with me today, I have a special person, a very special person, that I'm excited to talk to. Somebody that is I don't really know what to say or how to describe him. He's a health and fitness coach, right?
Absolutely.
I met him through my good friend Chris. You all know her and love her. And without further ado, Mr. John Robinson.
Thank you for having me, Jim. Super duper ooper excited about this podcast.
Well, I'm excited too, man. Like we talked about a little bit, when we sat down. It's like I do talk about health and fitness, especially. I don't know. It just seems like it's kind of been on the back burner, which is weird to me. Like with a lot of people, it's not just. It's not just me. It's not just men, women. It's just everybody in the United States has kind of been a little bit just letting it go. Is he unmuted?
Awesome.
Or turn him up. Wait, yeah,
Okay.
Up higher. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, bring that thing a little closer.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, bring
There
it
we
to you so
Okay.
that you don't have to you can move it around.
Awesome.
I just want to make sure everybody can hear you. I guess the point is, bring mine up too. Sorry, I'm like really low. New producer. I told you guys. Hiccups. These are growing pains. The point I'm making is like through COVID, I think, that whole time period, I think everybody realized that, my health, if I take care of my body, this wouldn't have affected me. Maybe this wouldn't have affected me as much as it did.
Yes.
So are you seeing a surge after that time period?
Yes. Even for us, when COVID happened, all the gyms were shut down.
Right.
People were going through, virtual, go through Zoom, still getting with their trainers or even some of the gyms. I think that, after that, that was almost like an eye-opening experience for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when, people took it serious, but I think that was like a huge turning point. And I always believe that a lot of times, the only times we have turning points in our lives is when something catastrophic has to happen.
Right.
Usually I hope people are inspired to have that change, but sometimes it's usually something catastrophic or something bad has to happen.
True.
So I noticed that after COVID happened, there was a lot more people putting a little bit more seriousness or emphasis or intentionalities on being healthy.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, good. Now that's out of the way. It's just one of the questions, and I knew if I didn't ask it, I'd forget it.
Absolutely.
Tell me about Team Ambition,
Okay.
and then we're going to get into who you are,
Okay.
and where you fit into all of that.
Absolutely. So Team Ambition. So just a little quick backstory. I always say this when people ask me how we started this. So I really wish I had a real inspiring story we're just talking about. I don't. So I did 22 years in the Navy. And
Thank you for your service.
Thank you so much. So we've been in business for 12 years now. So me and my wife started this business we were stationed in Okinawa, Japan. And our second week being in Okinawa, we went to an Air Force base, and we saw on this big billboard at the movie theaters, they had like a bodybuilding competition. So I knew nothing about bodybuilding. So we was like, hey, let's go check it out just to kill some time or whatever. So we go check it out. I was actually inspired maybe, but I saw these guys on stage. I was like, I want to try that. My wife's like, hey, go ahead and try it. So, I just did my own research, bodybuilder.com. I just nerded out, if you will. Took the information, applied it, and then 6 months later, I got on stage and did it, loved it. Had a really, really great transformation. I shared it on social media, got a lot of great feedback, and, ended up turning it into a business after I got certified. So now I'm telling you about 12 years later.
That's awesome. So 6 months to get into competition.
Yes.
Is that like average or
typically? Usually it's 4 to 5 months. I say 6 months for me because I had to I had to learn all this stuff. I say this from a place of being humble. I've never had a personal trainer. I never had a coach or anything like that. So I've done all this, humbly speaking, by myself.
Sure.
I've had some mentors, so to speak, but nobody's ever say, hey, go to the gym. Hey, eat this. It was all just like repetition, learning it, studying it. And then I pride also the fact that I was in the military. That really kind of helped too, because I already had discipline, but after doing bodybuilding, it's given me a whole new style of discipline.
Yeah.
So because the sport requires you to be very, very scheduled and very, very meticulous. So that's just bled into my life. So
That's awesome, dude. Like, I honestly, like, I don't know. I don't know how people that can do that are that disciplined, where they find the motivation, the whatever it is that makes them that disciplined. Like you said, you were in the military. I mean, that's got to be the biggest piece to the puzzle, isn't it? The discipline. And
yes.
I didn't realize it was that scheduled.
Yeah. And you know, since we share the same mutual friend, Chris, you know, when we sat down and talked and how we met, she found me through ChatGPT.
Yeah, I've always been curious.
Yes, I'll go into that story. I thought it was very interesting. So she found me on ChatGPT, and then she started following me on Instagram. Then she sent me a message. No, I think I sent one of us sent each other a message. Typically, when I get a message, someone follows me on Instagram. I always ask, say, "Hey, thank you for follow."
Good engagement, yeah.
Exactly. Then we end up having a conversation. I gave my phone number. We talked for the first time. We talked about an hour and a half. And I just explained to her how this works. She told me what she was looking to do. Next thing you know, turn around, I think that was about 7 months. Over that time from the start till the end, about 7 to 8 months I was working together. And she decided she got on stage. So
I don't know. The way she told me it was you decided she was getting on stage.
I just advise and say, hey, this is what we can do. This is what I think we'll be or whatnot. And ultimately, it's always going to be up to the individual, because that person got to go on stage. Not me.
Sure.
So I just try to guide and give the best advice possible. And she was like, hey, let's do this. And that was a goal of hers, for a lifelong goal. So I was like, hey, it was honestly one of the biggest challenges. But one of the most I'm proud of, because of she was doing all this stuff. Like 90% of it was out of her van.
Right.
And I've never coached anybody who lived out of their van. It was always, you know, somebody stays in an apartment or, you know, at home, you know, has a husband and boyfriends, all that common stuff. But now that she was living out of a van for like 90% of her competition prep, I was just trying to figure out like how we navigate this. But I want to take on that challenge personally, because I've never done that. And I'm probably most proud of that the most, not just because she's my friend, but, you know, from start to finish, and the way she did it, it was like no excuses.
Right.
So anybody else who tells me, hey, I don't know if I can do this, I know somebody who's done this out of a van.
Right, right.
So yeah.
You got no excuses, homie.
Yes.
Well, she seems like the type of person that will, you know, she takes on a challenge.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I love that about her. And like I said, that's so inspiring about her. I'm super glad that we connected through her.
Absolutely.
And you know, and she messaged me this morning. She's like, "We can come back and we'll do a twofer again." You know, I was like, "Look, you guys could come back anytime." You know, that's the thing. Like, I do a lot of repeat guests and stuff like that, and
I would love to do that with her. Yes,
absolutely. I'd love to sit down and have y'all just kind of crack up and joke like you do. I'm sure it gets lively, but you know, as I age, health and fitness is something that's always on my mind, because I know as we get older, we lose, you know, bone density, you know, all the ligaments start drying up, basically. I mean, you start losing, you know, a lot of your muscle mass and all the things that you need to walk around and be a human, you know. And one of my biggest motivations, this is probably stupid, but like, I've started kind of working out again, and I'm like, just real light, nothing crazy. I'm not going to compete, you know.
Yes.
But, you know, I'm just trying to get rid of Pez dispenser shoulders. I don't want to look like one of them old guys. It just looks like a stick and a net and a head. You know, I don't want to look like a fucking Pez dispenser, you know, like, so I'm like, let me get my shoulders back right. And then I'm started like, oh shit, my cardio is falling apart. But like I said, I just want longevity.
Absolutely.
It's less about how my body looks. Those things are a side effect.
Yes.
You know, looking great, being able to walk around the beach and take your shirt off, that's a side effect of being healthy.
Absolutely.
I think there are some people, I'm sure you know, that don't care about the health aspect and just push, you know, for the looks.
Yes.
And I don't know how you get one without the other, but I feel like there's probably some, you know, supplements involved.
Yes, there's some supplements, but I try to. So coming out of the bodybuilding space, not everybody coaches bodybuilders or athletes, but there are some. I do coach some stay-at-home moms. Some people who are married, just got a full lifestyle, very busy. So I try to, even majority of everybody's goal is like, I want to lose weight, I want to put on muscle, I want to look great, my shirt off or whatever. Fantastic, that can be your goal. But let's look at the smaller goals. Let's start making sure you start feeling better, enjoying the foods that you're eating. When you walk up and down the stairs, are you not losing your breath? Are you sleeping bad? Like those small things that we don't really pay attention to. If we realize that we pay attention to the smaller things, the overall goal, literally what you just said, is going to happen. It's just a side effect.
Right.
If you just do those small little things like go for walks, maybe 15, 20 minutes a day, whatever the case may be, your body's going to start adapting to it. And at the side effect, to your point, your body's going to start looking how you want it to look.
Right.
So just those small little things, just chipping away day in, day out. Doesn't mean you have to go kill yourself in the gym. Doesn't mean you have to go run 5 miles and all stuff like that. Just small little increments, being intentional each day. You're going to get to the end goal. It may take a little bit, and that's just part of that process that everybody talks about.
Yeah, yeah. It's a tough process.
Yes.
For me, it's just finding the motivation. It's so easy to be a couch potato.
Yes.
And I'll tell you where I work after this because I don't like talking about it on the internet.
All good.
But the company I work for is probably not the best for your health.
Okay.
But so that doesn't help. But there's so many things that like get in the way of us being healthy. Like, talk to me about Team Ambition, like what y'all's like motto is, and like what it is y'all really do there.
So honestly, we like to say like we're trying to create healthy habits based off of your resources and your goals. Mm-hmm. So this is all about creating healthy habits. So one of the hardest things most people, me included, even because nobody's perfect, but like nutrition is always like the hardest thing, right?
Yeah.
So imagine, so I'm 45. I use me for example. So for 45 years, I've been doing X, Y, and Z. Let's say my nutrition is horrible. Now you're asking somebody, whether it's a fitness coach or a personal trainer, nutritionist, dietitian, whatever. You're asking that person, now you have to switch these habits you've had for 45 years.
Right.
They've been unhealthy habits. Now I'm asking you to switch it to healthier habits. That is super duper hard because you're accustomed to all these years of having these, bad habits, so to speak.
Yeah.
Now I'm asking you to change those habits, and that's where the motivation or the lack of motivation comes from, because now you're like, oh shit, I gotta change. I gotta stop eating Doritos now.
Yeah.
So no, you don't have to stop eating Doritos. Let's decrease how often you eat Doritos. So as an example,
you see my face? Damn. You mean Little Debbie's out the window?
So like our goal is really, when we're working with people, our goal is really not to tell you, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. Mm-hmm. We want you to still have a sustainable lifestyle. Enjoy the foods that you want, enjoy your lifestyle, but let's introduce and be intentional about having healthy habits.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. I'm kind of like listening to you, and I'm thinking of my friend Bruce Breedlove. He's a financial, I don't know what you call yourself, Bruce, but he has a company called Align Money Mastery, and they help people get their accounts in order. Yes. And he's always talking about, he's like, it's just, you got to get better spending habits. So with you, it's better eating habits, better, just changing little things can go really far. There's a whole thing I want to get into with you about like where but I want to hear more about Team Ambition Fitness, but we'll get into like where we're going as far as a country with our health. Okay. What our government's kind of doing. We'll get into that. Just keep that in the back of your head. But tell me more about Team Ambition Fitness.
So mainly, I think that one of the other bigger things is when you go to our social media, well, more so Team Ambition social media platform, mm-hmm. you see majority of people working out and, athletes and stuff like that. We're really trying to pivot away from that. Okay. Because we really want to be able to reach the general population because, athletes and bodybuilders, all that stuff, that's like the 1%, 2%. Right. We want to be able to help with the general population. So our programs are solely based to be online. So we run our program through our app that we use. We use our platform called Trainerize. So within our platform, we're able to capture, your sleep habits, your nutrition habits. I create your workouts. I can see how many your daily steps. So those are like the 4 pillars that we like to make sure that, because those are the things we can, for the most part, we can control.
So you tracking them people.
Correct.
Like if you don't get enough steps, you start getting a text like, hey man,
Yeah, well, hey, you're supposed to do at least 10,000 steps. You're shy of 8,000. So,
Oh boy.
so we use our app, and it gives us a lot of data with, especially with smartphones and how technology is. It makes it super easy for us to be able to see how you're performing. I can see your sleep habits because that's just as important.
Wow, really?
Yes. So as it syncs in with Apple products or Google, whatever. So for example, what I like to do is when I see somebody's sleep pattern and they're still trying to work out, I'm telling, hey, we're not gonna work out today. These next 2 days, let's chill out from the gym. Let's get our rest because that's just as important.
Right.
So I'm not, we're not in the business trying to kill anybody to make sure they go to the gym and kill it. Well, if you're tired, you're not going to perform to your ultimate best. If you're not eating properly for the most part, fueling your body, you're really not going to perform well. So now we're looking at potentially getting hurt. So those are some of the things we look at.
Yeah, that's great advice. And that is talk about accountability.
Yes.
Ooh, Lord, like if I knew that you was watching my stuff like that, I'm like, oh, I better get it done. So I'm sure it helps a lot of your clients with that. Where do you mainly, is there like a specific gym you work in?
Well, so I'd say the last 6 months, so we're out in Green Coast Springs. There's a gym.
Close by.
There's a gym called My Time Fitness out in Lake Asbury. The owner is Sarah. Shout out, Sarah.
Shout out.
She allows me to train some of our team members there, and so she's been a blessing to allow me to train there. Sometimes the other local commercial gyms, I have people who train there. So if I'm in the area, I'm able to go in there and see how they're doing. Maybe we'll train together. I don't train them at the gym, but we'll train together.
I got you.
But yeah, that's typically how that normally works. I'm really excited about, and we can probably dive into this later too. But I'm really excited about what we've been doing this year. This year, me and my wife was like, hey, in 2025, the end of 2025, we was like, we need to grow.
Okay.
We've been doing the same things for the last 10, 11 years. We need to grow. We need to do more, right? So I guess I would dive in that. So we was like, what are we going to do? So.
Am I getting a scoop right now?
Oh, well, yeah, for the most part.
So nobody knows this?
Well,
except you and your wife?
Well, we've already started moving in the direction. So this is really, honestly, is good for people to know. So what we talked about, my wife had a genius idea. So I do I do fitness, I create, workout plans, I do help with nutrition, right? The nutritional coaching, which is, I can't give meal plans or anything like that. I could just say, hey, make sure we're trying to eat better, yada, yada, yada. So she was like, hey, why don't we try to partner with or have affiliate with maybe a certified nutritionist or a registered dietitian.
So they can give meal plans.
Correct.
I like that.
And then on top of like all the different GLP-1s and different, the different things that's out of my scope of practice, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist or a dietitian. So she was like, why don't we find it, maybe we can coordinate or collaborate with, or have an affiliate, with a nutrition company. So we end up partnering with or have an affiliate with, it's called Absolute Nutrition Coaching. Okay. It's a company of registered dietitians. It's a small business. They're out of New Jersey.
I was just going to say, are they based in Florida?
No, no. And this is, I'm going to go over to the bigger picture in a little bit.
Okay.
So they're based out of New Jersey. So shout out Lindsay. She's out in New Jersey. So she has a company of, I think it's 4 or 5 registered dietitians.
Okay.
So we're working with them. So we literally just put that out to the masses beginning of March. Yeah, okay. Beginning of March. So that is something we're really excited about. So anybody who are coaching who may need that next level of nutrition, we'll refer them to them.
And now, would that be like a Zoom call type thing, or was there an app that comes with that?
No.
How are they tracking all of that?
Oh, fantastic. So I'm just for
simplicity. Just a rundown.
So let's say, hey, John, I'm joining Team Ambition. Okay, fantastic. Well, we talk about, some of your nutritional challenges, and let's say you had super high blood pressure or high cholesterol, right? Well, that may be a little out of my scope. I can give you, thank you, I'm sorry. I can give you some guidance, but I think I would refer you, say, hey, we work with a company, dietitians, they do health insurance. So that you're not paying that out of pocket cost.
Okay.
So we can refer you to them. And from there, I would connect you with Lindsay because she's the owner. I would connect you with Lindsay. They'll do their consultation with you, see how they can help. And then from there, you're her client. And while still also I'm doing your training.
Oh, that's so good, man.
So yes.
Because that was a question I was going to ask is like, for sure, like, I mean, we know how important diet is.
Yes.
It's and here in America, we're like, we don't care about diet. We just whatever tastes good,
Yes.
whatever gives us that brief mouth pleasure. We don't think about what it's going to do to us in the long run. I mean, little Debbie cream pie or something could take 5 years off your life, and if it does, I mean, I won't have much time left because I've eaten the shit out of them things. And I think about it like every time I sit down and eat a bag of chips or anything, I'm always like, I need to eat better,
Yes.
But so that's great that you have that. And when will that be? Is that available now?
Yes. So we're literally piloting right now. Excuse me. We're piloting that process right now.
Okay.
So we're actually my mother-in-law. I refer my mother-in-law
Nice.
to Lindsay. So and that one actually it's going really good. So that was probably about 3 weeks ago. So we're still piloting it.
Yeah.
So
how do you feel about things like Ozempic and those types of that's a peptide, right?
So when it comes to Ozempic and all these GLP-1s, things that help you lose weight, I understand that it may be new or it may be a need, but the only challenge with that is because the way I look at it, it's almost looking at when people get what do you call it, cosmetic surgery, right? And they do all this different stuff to their body and stuff like that, which is fine, if that's what you want to do.
If it's health,
if that's what you want to do. But the only same thing I look at is okay, just because you've done that, what is your nutrition? What was you doing before you did all that?
Right. You have to
How
make
did you
changes.
get there? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you still have those, and I was talking about healthy habits, if you still have those habits that got you here, a pill, shots, and all stuff like that, it may help you short term, but it's not going to help you long term.
Right.
So if you don't have those habits in place already that got you here, if you haven't changed those habits by the time you've done this pill, shot, whatnot, I think you're still gonna be beating your head against the wall because you're going to be in that same place potentially over the next, you may have some weight loss, right, over 3 to 6 months, but after that 3 to 6 months, that pill, that shot wears off. If you still have those habits, I personally feel that you're going to end up beating your head against the wall. You're not going to be happy. You're still going to end up having this weight because the pill shots they're not long-term sustainable. Just as my perspective.
There's no magic, but there's no magic pill.
No.
I mean, there is, and see, that's the problem I have is that I think it was a pill for diabetes.
Okay.
It was supposed to help with diabetics, people that are overweight and they have diabetes, and it helps to regulate, I guess, their insulin or whatever. I'm not a doctor either, but this is just a little bit that I've researched on it. And one of the side effects was that they, it's like a, what do you call it? It's like a hunger suppression.
Yes.
So they lose a bunch of weight. They're not eating as much bull crap anymore, and then they lose weight. They feel better, and all their blood glucose gets better.
Yes.
And that's what it was originally for. And then I guess, capitalism. I love it. I do love it, but there's good sides and bad sides to it. The bad side is somebody at a pharmaceutical company said,
"Yes,
wow, this lady just lost 250 pounds just taking our medication. I wonder if we can just market this as a weight loss drug."
Yes.
And I think that's where we're at. I'm not sure if that's exactly how it went down, but I feel like that is what I read, and that's kind of how it went down. So that is concerning to me because not only are you losing a lot of things if you're not eating, you're not getting the proper nutrition, you're not working out, you're losing, like we said, muscle mass, bone density, all these things, and I feel like if you do all that and don't change your routine, is that a little spider there? No big deal.
All good.
But
he was visiting.
Yeah, he just he's not anymore. I feel like, though, you're going to be in worse shape than you were before because you didn't do any. If you don't exercise and eat properly while you're taking that medication, and I just feel like that there are people out there that are taking it as a miracle drug, as a miracle weight loss pill, and they're not getting with someone like yourself or like a company that will help guide you through that experience, whether it's nutrition, whether it's working out. I feel like in America, that's the way that people their mentality is.
Yes.
And like you said, I don't knock it either. Get healthy, get fit, however you want.
Yes.
If it makes you feel better about yourself. But I'm like scared about the repercussions and what's going to happen when you do lose all that muscle mass and bone density and you're, everything starts falling apart, but you look great.
Yes.
And then, but you're still eating shit.
Yes.
And then you get fat again, and now all this stuff is breaking down.
Yes.
Our skeleton can only hold up so much.
Yes. To that point, there are some people that I do coach that are, on these different Ozempics, GLP-1s, or whatnot. I know it does suppress appetite, but at the same token, I try to make sure that they're, properly fueling their bodies and whatnot. And just, weight training really is the biggest thing, is try to make sure that the exercise and weight training, start trying to build some strength and some muscle. But yeah, a lot of the people that I do talk to, I say maybe my circle, if you will, when it comes to personal trainers, healthcare professionals, all that stuff like that, that whole holistic approach, you'll see a lot of people say, hey, I'm a holistic, I take the holistic approach as much as possible. So you don't have to push pills and stuff like that. So try to mitigate doing so many, pharmaceutical drugs.
Right.
So yes.
Can you now I know you said you can't like do nutrition because you're not, you're not a certified nutritionist or what have you, but can you make like personal suggestions about like supplements? Like,
yes.
Just not even like, just like vitamins.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I tell people all the time, man, you need to take some vitamin B. You need to get some vitamin D in your life. And I'm not a doctor, but
Yes.
I take all that stuff every day. I take C, zinc, B, D, fish oil, as much,
Yes.
all the things that I feel like I've accumulated over my lifetime and be like, these are good.
There's like a no-brainer I always recommend for men and women. So one is a multivitamin, whether you're a male or female. Multivitamin, fish oil. I really like those because it helps keep the joints lubricated. Whey protein. It doesn't matter. You can be whey protein, plant-based, whatever. Protein, because a lot of times people don't eat enough protein. And then creatine. Creatine is really good for you.
I used to take creatine. I got fat. Like, I did. I got thick as shit. It like retains water, right?
Yeah, it's water underneath the muscles. Yep.
Yeah. So it can help you if you're working out and eating properly. It'll do good things.
Yes.
If you're not, it'll do bad things.
Yeah, it'll help you blow up a little bit.
Yeah, I ballooned up.
So, but yeah, those are like the 4 supplements I recommend. When it comes to, I'm just open dialogue. I know that's one of the big things. People using different performance enhancing drugs and stuff like that for the sport. So I don't really recommend, or I don't go down that path.
Right.
So
yeah, like what do you call it? Like steroids and all that stuff.
Now, be honest, do I coach? Have I, or do I coach people who do that? Yes, just because there's a federation, it's called NPC. They allow that type of stuff. But my first thing is always like, hey, before you do that, let's go get your labs done. Just take a look at your blood work. Make sure you're healthy enough to do this stuff.
That's smart.
Yes.
I would have never thought about that.
Yeah, because I want people to be healthy. I want the people to have long-standing sustainability. And if you're going to do that, which is fine, everybody's different, but make sure you get, see your PCM, see your doctor, make sure you run some labs, make sure everything's looking okay. If it's not looking okay, I highly encourage you not to go down that road.
Yeah, it'll definitely mess you up.
Yes.
You start sticking stuff in your body that interact with. So yeah, there's a lot of people that won't go to their physicians or whatever. They just like, oh, give me that whatever and stick it in me, man. I know, you're about 4 years younger than me, so you're a young man. I'm a young whippersnapper. But when, especially men, when we hit about 40 years old, we start losing testosterone.
Yes.
And I think a lot of these older guys like myself, and like we start developing these guts and all this flabby skin and everything, and our muscle, literally, your muscles shrink. I mean, I have seen it. My arms used to be bigger than this. Like I used to work out, and I look good. I look real good. And that was only 9 years ago.
No, you're absolutely right. Even when you look at I want to keep going down this road of bodybuilders, but when you look at the most, winningest bodybuilders at like where they were and where they're at now,
right?
There's a most famous guy I would say is like a guy named Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
God bless him. I know he's had like thousands of surgeries and stuff like that, but if you looked at where he was at when his prime to where he's at, it's actually, I think he's using like walkers and wheelchairs and stuff like that. And he looks very, very small because at one point he was utilizing, PEDs.
Sure.
So, but when to your point, as you get, long story short, as you get older, you do start to, body deflates.
Right. So yeah. And I know too, if you're putting in like exogenous steroids and hormones, it tells your body like you don't need to make those anymore.
Yes.
We're bringing it in now.
Yeah.
You know, we're just going to keep supplying, so you're good. So and then when you stop, your body's not producing it
Yes.
as much. So then it's just like it throws everything out of whack.
It becomes dependent.
Yeah, I mean, at my stage in life, you know, I don't know how much longer I got. You know, I got to be careful saying that shit in front of her. She looks.
I think you're gonna be here for a while.
But I mean, I still feel like a little bit of, you know, maybe go to the physician, have them do the physical, and then see if I need to if you're low on it, deficient, just give you enough to fill the gap.
Yes.
For me, I know there's guys out there, and that's the thing. Like, it's almost impossible for a lot of those dudes that you see up on the stage. And you competed.
I did.
You know, I mean, it's almost impossible to get that physique naturally. Would you say that's true? Or?
Yes, it's very hard unless you got great genetics. You know, genetics is 110% one of it. But yeah, a lot of people that you see that, you know, that on the social media platform for the most part, they're 9 times out of 10 they're probably taking something extra.
Some Mexican
I like to call
supplements.
I call them super supplements.
Yeah, Mexican supplements. Because they're legal down there.
But yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a scary thing, but there's a lot of scary stuff going on, and people are just doing all kinds. I mean, like I said, I'm not judging anybody for taking Ozempic or doing anything like that. I'm over here sucking on a robot dick. You know, I mean, I used to smoke cigarettes.
Okay.
And I quit and I started vaping. And I know it's bad for me. Anything you put inside your body that's foreign is bad for you, you know. Mm-hmm. Just walking down the damn street with all the brake dust and exhaust and everything is probably just as bad or worse than that. But it keeps me from smoking them cigarettes, you know.
Yes.
And
that's probably better for you.
I think so. That's the only reason I went to it is because I did a lot of research, you know, and I was like, I don't know. I'm taking one thing with chemicals and trading it for another. But it has 3 chemicals or 3 ingredients, not, you know, and it's like vegetable oil derivative and stuff that there's actually, what is that stuff that they put in asthma inhalers? That's
antihistamine?
No. I can't remember what it's called, but it's part of that. Okay. And they put that in there and a little flavoring and some nicotine, of course, you know, but just to kind of keep my edge down, you know, I would be insane without without a little nicotine. I know it has its benefits, nicotine, you know, it's good for your cognitive, you know, I can't remember what it's called. I'm not a doctor, by the way.
All good.
That's a disclaimer, YouTube. I'm not giving anybody advice. Like I said on the last podcast, the people coming here for an education from me, they came to the wrong place. Now, if you want to listen to him, y'all can talk, you know, but I don't know. So, like I said, I know that we all take these things in, and I'm not, whatever it may be, I'm not judging anybody. I'm not here to judge. I just want people to live as long as they possibly can and be as healthy as they possibly can.
Yeah, you use the 2 H's. I always say this, you know, and it's like, as long as you're healthy, as long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know? And to your point, you know, if utilizing, you know, GLP-1s or Ozempic, if you find you find happiness in that, and you're happy in your skin, with how you look, how you feel, that's all that matters. When it's at the end of the day, because that's the only to me, that's the only thing that should matter to you. As long as you're healthy, you're happy, you're showing up for your family, you're showing up for yourself, that's all that matters.
100%.
So, how
do you feel about you know, old RFK's out there making a lot of changes? He's making a lot of moves, and you know, like the difference between America, there's food that we have here that is illegal overseas. Like, that's insane to me. You know, but when you look at the difference between the two, like they have Doritos over there, we have Doritos, but ours it's got so much salt, so much sugar, so many carbs, and just
so
processed, and things you can't even read, you can't even pronounce. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think about, like, the you know, he's out there trying to, like, and I have reservations about it. I like what he's doing, but I also have reservations because it's like how you're kind of telling me what I can and can't put in my body. Yes. You know, and they already do that with, like, weed and other things, you know, that people like to enjoy. You know, how do you feel about that?
So I'm gonna probably put in this type of perspective for that give an example. So when we lived in Japan, like, or even if you go anywhere overseas for the most part, the portion sizes are so much different than ours. Like, so when you go to you can go anywhere. It doesn't matter. Anywhere in Florida, anywhere in the United States. Our portion sizes are so much bigger than it is like in Japan or other countries. So that tells me, for the most part, I mean, every place has its challenges, but I think I think by the numbers, we are probably the most obese country. So to that point, you know, on the things we talked about when it comes to all the different medications and stuff, but like just our portion size are so much different than what overseas is accustomed to. So that leads us to what's one of the things we are, not to age ourselves, but I'm pretty sure your parents were just like this. Hey, you're going to eat everything on your plate.
Clean your plate.
Yep, clean your plate. And our plates are so big since we're so used to having a large portion size. When you go overseas, their portion sizes are so much different, so much smaller. So I think something like that kind of ties literally what you were just talking about.
Yeah, like for me, the clean your plate thing was like we struggled a lot, and so we was like, you don't know when your next meal is, boy, you better eat that shit.
Yeah.
You don't know when you're going to eat next.
Yes.
So
I'm actually going to, if I also can piggyback on that.
Yeah, piggyback.
You know, when we were in Japan, since they had such smaller portion size, I had like this light bulb go off on me. So when I'm coaching people, like, hey, why don't you, instead of using a big plate, since we're so accustomed to like, hey, you're gonna finish everything in your plate, just use a smaller plate.
Yeah.
And then you stack your plate up, whatever. So 9 times out of 10, now your portion sizes are smaller.
Yeah.
Versus having this big dinner plate. Just use a smaller plate.
Can you imagine just something so easy, just changing like? Okay, just use a dish, like a coffee dish that you put on your.
Exactly.
Just use that instead of using the regular size plate. Just change your plate size, and then you're not going to put as much shit on there.
Correct.
Now the problem is,
Seconds,
going back
thirds.
for seconds and thirds. 11sies.
Yes. So yeah, that's one small strategy. If sometimes with portion control can be a challenge, but yes, to your point, I think that what we have going on in the United States is it's a lot of challenging things that we got going on.
Yeah.
So
there are.
in that regard.
There are.
So,
I just it's always a curious thing for me, and I always like whenever I haven't had a chance to really sit down and talk to someone that's in this field.
Okay.
And so I was like, let me pick their brain on this stuff. I mean, like I agree that we need to make some changes in the country, and almost to the point where you're like, you got to like, it's like taking something away from a bad kid. I mean, like, no, bad. You can't have that. Go sit in the corner. But in America, we don't do that.
Yes.
We have freedom of speech. We have all these rights and everything, and you start taking food away. And so what they've started to do is now all these companies have their regular line, and then they have an extra line that they made specifically to fall into the parameters that he set.
Wow.
So it's like, like there's, I won't even want to use but there's like, I don't know if you've seen like the Doritos, they have the naked chips now.
Okay. Yes.
They have like new bags of chips. They're called Naked brand.
Yeah, I saw that in Walmart yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like that's what they're doing to kind of like offset. They're like, we have all this stuff that people love and they can still buy that stuff, but then there's a way healthier alternative. It has no dyes, and they use like, instead of dyes, they use like cumin or paprika and stuff like that.
So, wow. So, okay, I got to share this. I got to shout my young daughter out.
Okay.
My daughter, Ariana. We were in Walmart yesterday, and I saw these bags. I was honestly, I was just joking. I was like, hey, look at those bags. And she's like, yeah, those are the new Doritos. They don't have dye in it. And literally, she said the exact same thing you said. I didn't actually believe her.
Did you try them?
No, we just.
She's like, I'm not having that in my house. I don't care.
Oh no, they were like, as soon as you walked into Walmart, they were just right there.
Yeah.
The bags were just very highlighted. I just saw them. Looks nice. But we weren't there for that. But she was telling me literally the exact same thing. My 11-year-old told me the exact same thing you just said.
Isn't that crazy? The kids.
How did she know that?
Bro, right here. That's
that
how
phone.
they know.
Yeah.
They all have it.
Oh,
Gosh. But it's not all of
impressed.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
The kid words.
Yeah.
The kids don't always use the internet for good, like learning or picking things up. Sometimes it's just like brain rot, which scares the shit out of me for a whole generation of people. Like I've done my time. I can sit on there and brain rot. I'm going to be okay because I have responsibilities. I went through that time period where I'm like, you got to have But in the developmental stages of their life, especially around 11 years old, they're kind of cutting into who they're figuring out who they're going to be.
Absolutely.
And, like, what's they spend the majority of their time with that instead of talking to you or mom.
Yes.
I mean, maybe not in your house. You know,
no, you're spot on. You know, she's 11. Sometimes she's on her phone a little bit more. She'll close that door, go on her phone, play the little games on her phone, and talk to her friends and all stuff like that, which is kind of cool. But then there's times where it's like, hey, all right, you got to put the phone down.
Yeah.
But you're spot on.
Yeah, it's so crazy because these things have the potential for so much good. And I feel like we are using them similarly to junk food. You know, we just keep piling them shits in there. Oh, I love Swiss cake rolls. Apple pie, whatever. You know, people just want to gorge on that stuff.
You know, when it comes to social media, that may be a next topic. Or
we could go wherever we go.
Man, I'm telling you, I don't mind social media, and if I didn't have social media, I would have never met Chris and some of the people I have the pleasure of coaching and building these relationships with, which I'm very thankful for that part. But the thing about social media, and I had these conversations individually with some of the people I coach, like it can be a gift and a curse.
Yep.
A lot of times in this space, right? A lot of times we'll go on that social media and we're looking at everybody else and how they look and, wow, I wish I looked like that. How come I look like that? And, I always have to say, like, you don't know what they're doing. You don't know where they started.
What they went through.
Yeah, and I guarantee you there's somebody who's looking at you thinking the exact same thing. Wow, I wish I looked like her or, him or whatever.
Right.
So, a lot of times I think that social media, it can be when we're looking at for people and we're envying or not, I don't know, envy is the right word. Envy, not jealousy, but envying what we see, that can be really, it can really damage a person's self-confidence.
That's where like body dysmorphia starts coming into place. People, and I know people, I mean, I'm comfortable with I don't like the way I look in a mirror. I don't try not to look. I turn the lights off when I walk by that motherfucker. But I mean, I'm just like, I know there's people out there that are like, just like you said, man, and they look at themselves and they go, I don't like what I see, but they don't want to do anything about it. Or maybe they don't think that they can. And I know that there are some people that have genetic issues where they're like, you can't, they have a hard time changing.
Yes.
But I wonder, I'm not saying that they can't, but I'm like, maybe you're just not talking to the right people. Maybe you need to get a second opinion from a doctor. Yeah. I feel like there's something for everyone out there if you just get if you get connected to the right person.
100%. I think that, one of the things I try to reframe things for people sometimes. I think sometimes we look at ourselves and like we're not good enough or whatnot. But depending on the person where we're at in the program, like, hey, and that's why I love pictures, to do individual pictures of yourself. Look at where we started at. Now look at where we're at, right? Remember that person you was here. Look at how much you've developed here, depending on where the person's at. So trying to reframe or just like look at the smaller picture, but the bigger picture is you're changing, right? So I try to reframe those for people that I coach. There's a book. I wish I would have read it. It's called, what is it called? Something don't. I can't remember what it's called. But long story, the easy way to say it is like once I found this for me personally, because I used to scroll through and compare myself to other people. I used to, not just for physiques, right, but from a business standpoint, I'm looking at all these other personal trainers and coaches. They've got all these people on their team. They're coaching so many people. They're doing great events. They're doing all these great things. I'm like, shit.
That's all for the social media, though.
What am I not doing?
That's all social media, though.
I used to beat my head against the wall. I used to complain to my wife, like, hey, what am I not doing? What am I not doing? It's like, she would always tell me, like, hey, we'll get there. This is a progression. You're like, they didn't start there.
Right.
They started back here. They got here. So you're going to get there. You just got to keep pacing, keep doing the right things. So I used to beat my head against the wall about that or be so pissed off about that. Like, why am I not there? So I had to realize I need to come off social media a little bit. And then after I got that, I don't give a fuck muscle, right? I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm going to do it this way.
The subtle art of not giving a fuck.
Maybe that's the name of that book.
It might be.
I think that's the name of the book. Yeah.
It's a good book.
Yeah. I want to actually read it because it's very compelling.
No, it is a good book. I've read it. And
I'm getting it.
Another book that you need to read, and then I think a lot of people need to read, is called The War of Art.
Not The Art of War?
No. The War of Art.
Okay.
It's by a guy named Stephen Pressfield. It talks about the muse and, what the things that hold us back from doing the things we want to do.
Absolutely.
All those things like defeating those types of things and how it's, just get up and fucking do shit.
Yes.
But he's written he wrote like The Legend of Bagger Vance. you know.
That was a movie.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was a book first, but yeah, Will Smith. Yeah,
Yes.
it was a good movie. But yeah, that's a good book for everybody to read, especially for motivation.
Yes.
You know, procrastinate if you're a procrastinator, that type of thing. And it ain't a big book. You know, it's a small book.
Yes.
Take real quick.
I will dead ass. I will take that and put that in my books that I need to read.
Yeah.
Dead ass.
It's good.
So.
It's good. But yeah, to your point though, man, like this social media thing is weird. And there's a quote that I don't remember who said it, but comparison is the thief of joy.
Absolutely.
And I think about that every time I get on that son of a bitch. Like I try not to go on like Instagram or Facebook. It's kind of like, you know? Like I'll only post when I need something, you know, or I'm selling something. I'll put it on Marketplace, but I try not to go on there. TikTok, you know, it lived its, you know, there's times when it's got the perfect application when you're like, do I want to watch TV or do I just want to sit here for 20 minutes and and then go to bed, you know? But
excuse me.
I try to with Instagram. I'm like, I post clips and then I ghost. I post and ghost. I get out of there. You know, I'll accept all the, you know, collaborations and things like that. And I try to allot myself an amount of time to be on there and then I'm out, you know, because
that's perfect for your brain space.
Yeah. A lot of our phones now have like, it tracks, you know, how your screen time.
Yes.
And boy, if you go on that thing, it is scary to see. You're like, I can't really?
Yes.
I spent this much time on my phone. There's 24 hours in a day and I spent 8 of them on my phone throughout the day. Crazy.
Yes, that is a lot. You know, even to that point, seeing the analytics of how often you're on the phone or the apps itself, the different apps and whatnot. No, I've caught myself being on Instagram a lot. I literally just started learning TikTok. I just started a TikTok account, so I'm still learning how to use TikTok.
Yeah.
But I like that idea of post and ghost. I like that.
Yeah.
So you don't have to sit there and see how many likes do I got, any comments.
Dude.
I used to do that.
Yeah.
So
that's the worst. I don't get a lot of comments, which is great, but like the more people that start following you, the more, you get yourself into this. You go out from from where we're at the earth and you start going into the stratosphere and there's like more, more people see you. And now there's all, the ratio of like good people to assholes is higher, and so there's always going to be. My friend Tristan and we do another podcast, and he's real heavy on YouTube right now. He's trying to build his, it's pretty much all he's doing is doing YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. And he's building really fast.
Damn.
And doing really, really good. I'm really proud
that.
of him. Absolutely. But he reads the fucking comments. And, some of the stuff he does is it invokes a reaction. And he does that on purpose.
Yes.
He wants to invoke a reaction. And that's the crazy thing is a lot of Americans, a lot of people, humans in general, not just Americans, humans all over the world, if you have a pile of negative and a pile of positive, most people are going to go sifting through the negative.
I wonder why. Why? And that's really
because positive is boring.
Man, I mean, but that's to me like obviously I'm a very, very positive guy, so I would want to see. We talked about earlier, like hey, people change either something catastrophic, negative, or positive. I would want to think people would want to see more positive things, but then that's when haters come in, like, hey, when you have all this positive stuff happen, that's when those comments of hatred or whatever happens. I definitely get it, but I just my perspective is just always try to see the positive in everything. But I know we have negative, we have bad people, assholes in the world who don't want to see you be successful and all that stuff like that. And there's nothing you can do about that. But that's just
and the internet has given us the power, which thank God, because now we can have like whistleblowers and things like that against the government or any other, so that's cool. But there's also a downside of that, like you can go on the internet, create an account, and not put your face or name on it.
Yes.
So now you can hide behind that. And now you're a keyboard warrior and you feel strong. I can do anything. I am a god. You can go into anyone's comments and go, you fucking suck, and just ruin someone's day.
Yes.
Because it's crazy. You could have 1,000 great comments, but that one negative comment, you're going to scroll through and go, oh, that's me. Yeah. This motherfucker. And then you see them, they'll screenshot it and post it again. So now you're feeding this guy's ego.
Yeah.
So that's I don't respond. I like the engagement. You want to talk shit to me? Please do it. You're only helping me grow.
Yes.
Because a negative comment versus a positive comment, the algorithm doesn't give a shit. It literally will just, oh, he got a lot of comments. Push that.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so do it. I don't, I'm good with it. Roast me.
Yeah, I used to when I would see a negative comment, that when I cared what people thought.
Right.
That used to bother the hell out of me, but I would delete it or hide it.
Mm-hmm.
But now I was like, I don't care. This is somebody else's opinion who doesn't really know me.
Right.
Like
That's
true
the part.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So their opinion doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So.
And they're a miserable person, unfortunately, and I feel sorry for them, you know, because it's a miserable. I think it's a miserable life to feel like you need to interject your 2 cents into everything that you see.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Good for you. Do it because you're helping that person grow, but also like, why don't you focus on yourself?
Yes.
You know, just take that time that you wasted writing this soliloquy on their, you know, on their post. Just take that time and maybe go sit down and do some push-ups or, you know, go for a walk. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not
listen
hard.
to this podcast instead. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to the podcast. But you could do this and that at the same time. You know, that's what I love about podcasts. You know, it's so cool because you can start and stop them whenever you want. It's not like, you know, you're about my age, so you remember television.
Oh yeah.
You wanted to see the news. You had to wait till 6 p.m.
Yes.
There was 6 a.m., 6 p.m., and then there was the 10 o'clock nightly news.
Yes.
You know, or TV shows. Oh, American Gladiator's coming on. It's gonna be on at 5 o'clock, but it's on at the same time as Matlock. So you got to put that to the side because there's only one TV in the house, and Mama gets control. You know what I mean? But now you got this new format where anyone can have a voice.
Yes.
As long as people are willing to listen. And then they can start it, stop it whenever they want, you know. So I love this format. I love that we've been given this, you know, the stage to be on. And do you ever think about doing your own podcast?
So,
or don't let the cat out of the bag. I mean.
Well, no. So I tried podcasting. We actually back in 2018.
Okay.
Tried the YouTube thing. I just honestly. I tried it.
It's more than you wanted to deal with.
Yeah, it's not for me. It's just too much work for me to do. And I mean, we had I can't remember the app it was called, but we did a podcast where it's just like you're just talking on the phone and just posting it, whatnot. No, you can't see it. It's just the audio version. Mm-hmm. That was kind of cool, but after a while, I just kind of segue off of it.
That's how I started this. It was just audio only. I would record and then I would upload to a hosting site that would then shoot it out to all the different podcast platforms.
Yes,
and I did like 50 episodes like that, just me, you know. And then I was like, this is fucking boring, you know. And so I had this, and before I had all this, I had like a brick and mortar that was like multifaceted. It had everything. We had a podcast studio in there that was similar to this. And when that dissolved, I brought all my equipment here, and I set it up. And then I was just sitting on this stuff for the longest time. I had one client still that would hung with me, bless her heart. She had a podcast that she wanted to do, but didn't want to do anything but show up. And I was like, bet. And so I would produce it for her. She would come in, bring her guest, and then I'd sit down and I'd do everything. All you got to do is talk. You know? Yeah. And I thought about over the years, and maybe later on in life I'll start that. You know, I'll do that. Again, I know there's a few places in Jacksonville you can actually go to.
I think there's a lot of opportunities in that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know the well, actually, let me ask you this:
Sure.
Were you ever part of or do what's called Jack's
Podcasters Unite?
Thank you. I went to like 2 of those like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. I am a part of that Facebook group.
Okay.
And I follow them on Instagram. I've been to a few of their meetings as well at Buzzsprout, which is funny. They're a hosting site for podcasts, and they're based in Jacksonville.
Yes.
So that's really cool, you know. But they had a couple of the. I can never make it anymore because they always have it like in the middle of the week, and it's like it's later in the evening so that people can get home and whatever.
Yes.
But I have to work.
Understandable.
Super early. I get up at 2:30 every morning.
So I thought my day started. I was about to brag and say, "Hey, I start at 4:30."
All right, Jocko.
I will hold that comment. Wow, you start early.
However, you get up at 4:30 and you probably start with a run or a workout or something like that. I don't.
hey, but you're doing what you got to do. So
I'm
that's all
doing what
that
I got to
matters.
do
So,
to take care of mine. That's
there
it.
you go.
But
That's all that matters.
I'm slow. I do a lot. My job is really physical. But I mean, how do you feel about that? People are like,
Okay.
so that's a question I've always had, and not we're just gonna keep. This is how it goes,
Absolutely. I
man.
love
Rabbit
it.
holes.
Love it.
Like they say, they're like, well, working is not enough. You have to work, and then sometimes you need to get home and do a light work, or like you said, walk after work or after dinner, or do a light workout, what have you. But if you have if there's like a person that has like an extremely physical job where you're lifting, you're pulling, you're doing things, squatting, bending, all that stuff. All day long, 10 hours a day, is that enough, or should that person still be, okay, after dinner, you need to go outside and do a little 15-minute walk, whatever.
Okay, so I think, I'm going to use like fire and rescue, or I want to say police officers for the most part, because sometimes they're driving a lot, right?
Yeah.
But I would probably say like fire and rescue, even maybe, the people who run an ambulance, EMT, so like, they got strenuous jobs, right, where they're constantly up, down ladders, whatever case may be. Mm-hmm. So they're expending, long story short, they're expending so much energy. So do they need to go work out? I would probably say they don't have to, because they're doing all this physical manual labor throughout the whole day. So they need to keep their body fueled for the most part. So if they decide to, when they get home, they want to unwind, they've burned off so many calories because of what they're doing, what they do day in, day out. So is that a benefit? It could be, but do they have to? I wouldn't imagine they really needed to, because they're expending so much energy over a maybe 8 to 12 hour day.
Right.
So yeah.
Huh.
I think that, depends who it is, of course, too. There's other variables, but just in generality, I would probably say, if somebody's consistently moving 8 to 12 hours a day, I wouldn't think. At least personally, I don't think I would probably want to work out as much, because I probably wouldn't have the energy.
Right.
So
yeah,
that can be a lot of taxing on your body.
Yeah. So I think I'm I'm getting tips for myself. No, I think that, so probably with that, like your eating habits, probably would, like, if you're having issues, because I wonder, like, does your body get used to that routine of working and doing those strenuous things every day? Because it may be repetitive, you may be doing the exact same things every single day, and it may be strenuous, but your body sort of becomes accustomed to it. And then it can you can kind of start a decline.
Yeah, I would equate it to just like, your body gets used to, for example, the biggest thing is people who want to, this ties literally into what you're saying. People's biggest thing is like, hey, I want to lose weight. So in order to lose weight, I got to eat less, right? So after you eat less for so long, I'm not going to go into calories and stuff like that.
Right.
After you eat less for so long, your body gets adapted to it, and it's used to not eating a lot. Now when it's time to say, hey, let's go I'm making this up. Hey, let's go out and have a big pizza, or have big food for Thanksgiving, whatever. Right. Your body's not going to be able to eat it, because it's so used to eating less. Mm-hmm. So your body's going to adapt to it, just like adapting to those day in, day out job, those long work days or whatnot. Your body's going to adapt to it sooner or later. But also, sooner or later, your body may break down.
Right.
Because you're doing the same repetitive things, and that may potentially, some of those areas of your body may need to be strengthened.
Yeah.
So
it's like tennis elbow. Like there's people that do that constant, they get that tennis elbow.
Yes. So it may have to be a balance there. Mm-hmm. So
careful with that. You know about that, right?
Yeah, that could be.
He's clip farming stick 7.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I love messing with the kids, but no, that is a very interesting, and I've often thought that myself, but because I'm not, like I said, I do a lot of strenuous things every day, and it's like the same thing. I'm like, because there was a point when I used to work at a place where I was a manager, and I didn't do shit but walk around with a coffee in my hand.
Are you done?
Right, like, hey, where are we at?
Yeah.
But like, and I got real, I think I'm 5'8". I think the heaviest I got to was like 205, 210. Okay. So I wasn't like gordo, but I was just like, I had a little turkey neck going, and I wasn't happy. But I left that job and went to this job. It's a lot more physical. I lost so much weight.
Yes.
Just
from your walking around, daily activities, doing what you do every single day.
Right. And then I noticed, I was like, I plateaued. I lost all this weight. I had to buy all new clothes. I went from 210, 205 in that range to like 145 in probably about 6 months.
Impressive.
There was a lot of things. There's a lot of factors involved, divorce. And I went through all that stuff.
Stress.
And so I got down to 135 at one point, and I was looking real rough.
And can I ask you another question?
Sure.
So, like, when you were at the heaviest, how did your body feel? Like, any knees, back issues?
Everything
like,
hurt.
was bothering you?
Everything.
So then at that point, once you got down to that, I think you said 145. Did I hear that right? 145. Did you still have like pains and like knee pains, back pains?
Not as
like
much.
Okay.
Not near as much. But
Okay.
I also, when I got down that low, I was like, well, shit, I'm just skinny now. I mean, I was like, this is like I was like in high school, you
Yes.
know, except in high school, I was all fucking muscle. You know, I took weightlifting for 2 years in high school.
Damn.
Yeah, I loved it. You know, it was an elective. So I was like, let's do it. You know, of course, I got in there with all the football players and all the jocks. And I'm tiny, you know, and in high school, I was like, you know, 5'6", 5, whatever. I was short.
Yes.
And little guy. So they liked fucking with me. They're like, Larry, let's, you know, trying to see what my max was and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to, you know, I'm just trying to, I like this. I enjoy it. It working out for me, when I'm doing it and I get into a routine, it chills my brain out.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Oh no, absolutely. You're in your zone.
Yeah.
You're focused.
Well, I've always been kind of a hyper person, you know, throughout my life, and I know it doesn't seem that way.
You seem chill.
Yeah. Well, whatever you want to call it, ADHD, whatever. But I mean, I think there's a lot of things that health-wise and mental health-wise, I think that working out, like exercise, diet, routine, those types of things can help alleviate. Because I'm not saying that people don't need, you know, antidepressants or things like that. I know that there are people with real chemical imbalances and things going on in their life, but I always question, like, how did that happen?
Okay.
You know, like, you look at the way we are in America, we don't really, there's not, for the most part, most people don't work out regularly. We eat like shit. We put sugar, you know, which is cancer food, basically.
Yes. From
what I read. And which is another reason I'm eating this stuff. I'm going, God, cancer scares the shit out of me.
Yes.
It's the one thing, you know, AIDS, I don't care. You know, whatever, fucking diseases, you know, I don't care. AIDS. Cancer is the one that scares me the most. Because it's like a slow death. It's just killer from the inside out. And then you got to go to chemotherapy. You know, like my mom, she's with a gentleman, and he's got he's been through it 3 times, I think.
Oh, chemo.
He's had prostate. It's just all over the place, and it you know, it's done him in. You know, like he's still alive and he's kicking. You know, thank God. But dude, it's just like I seen how it did to him. Like, I don't want to see that. You know. But yeah, I mean, all those things, you know, I'm not sure where I was going, but take that ball and run with it, wherever you feel like going.
When you talked about mental health, right? That is almost part of this. Some of the things I was going to tell you. So, one of the bigger things that one of our strategic goals was, or our goals, our ambition this year was also add mental health. So that's actually something I want to dive into. So, when it comes to mental health, I think there's been a lot of highlights in mental health over these last 5, maybe 10 years or so, plus or minus. So one of the things we wanted to implement or bring on board was another affiliate when it comes to mental health, because some of the people I've had the privilege to coach, you know, they open up, because we build these relationships, right?
Sure.
We build this one-on-one relationships, and you know, sometimes they feel okay and compelled to share some of the things that aren't within the program, because we talk about stress and stuff like that. I mean, I don't help with stress, but like I'll listen and give my feedback.
After all them reps, they're gonna be like, I'm too tired to be stressed, bro.
Exactly. So sometimes they'll open up about certain things, and a lot of things. Sometimes it's completely out of my scope of practice, right? So I'm like, hey, well, maybe I will ask, have you ever thought about doing therapy? Yeah, I've thought about it. Just don't know who to go to, or you know, it's hard for me. Whatever. So if I'm a trusted source, hey, I know a mental health counselor that I can, you know, connect you with. So that's something else. That's another affiliate
Piece
we're working
on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that, and we're looking to hopefully partner with affiliate for hormonal therapy, because we talked a little bit about, you know, we talked a little bit about TRT and peptides and all stuff like that. So that's like our overall arching goal this year, is to have these different, to have a whole ecosystem, a virtual ecosystem, just like you have in healthcare. But to your point, though, I think mental health is super duper important.
Really is.
Because I don't think that I can't speak for other personal trainers, because you know, I don't talk about their clients in depth and detail. But just talking to some people that I coach, and majority of people I do coach are females, to be honest with you. A handful of males, but mainly females, and just listening to some of these people's stories and why they come to me. It's not just sometimes it's not what we see. It's what those underlying things that we don't see.
It's like an iceberg.
Exactly. That exact example analogy. They have a lot of underlying issues or challenges, right? So it comes out, during the process. And I wish I had that magic pill, or I wish I had the answers from a mental health standpoint, but I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not qualified for it. So I feel like if I had a resource to refer these people to, it would be a beneficial.
That is great. Now you're talking about
full spectrum,
whole body,
yes,
from head to toe, literally.
Yes.
I mean, that is outstanding. I mean, so have you found these affiliates? Like I know you said you got the nutritionist on board, and now
yeah, that's so the hormonal therapy. There's a lady here in she's out in Lake Asbury.
Okay.
Her name's Erica. She's used to be in the Navy. We've had great conversations, so we're still trying to iron out some details.
Okay.
Amazing lady. Hopefully we can work together, but if not, it doesn't. But and when it comes to the mental health space, so I used to be a director of business development for a place called Acheive Springs here in Jacksonville.
Okay.
It's a behavioral health hospital and substance abuse hospital. So I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of different mental health counselors and companies all in Jacksonville. I just haven't tapped into those resources yet. Just haven't got to that phase yet. But that is my next phase, is to create that relationship.
Right. Well, that's fantastic. I'm loving that, because like I said, sorry about the dogs.
Oh, cool. We'll let the dogs out.
Yeah, apparently she did. They've become it's just like every podcast thing now. They just go off.
Hey, all good.
At least once. But it's one of those things, like we talked about, like it's something I think about as I'm aging, and it's like, okay, where do I go? Do I go to my general practitioner and do like a physical and ask him to check this? Like, I have no idea how to go about finding out whether I even need that.
Yes.
Hormone replacement therapy or whatever, so it would, to have someone that specializes in that.
Exactly.
And, provided that they, the insurance works, that they work through
Yes.
insurance, because that's another big thing, which it shouldn't be, because it's weird to me. Like, a lot of places you go, if you go without insurance, it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And then with insurance, it costs more. Like, what the fuck? You
Yes.
know, like I went to get these glasses, and they were like, yeah, we have a deal going on. It's like 2 pairs for $99. I'm like, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I see you have insurance. That deal does not apply to you. And I was like, fuck, what?
Let me just pay out of pocket, dude.
So you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of $100, I ended up spending almost $500 for these damn things. I'm like, and I get 1 pair? Come on.
They should give you a just in case pair.
Should have, but that's the thing, though, is like, whether somebody wants to use their insurance or whether they don't, it would be cool to have. And I'm sure there's places out there, but the fact of the matter is that you, with your, with Team Ambition, you provide
Yes.
all of that stuff. So you take the questions away from people. It's like, do you have a question about this? Your mental health? We got the link right here. We got
Yes.
you. Just go to the website. Do you want to, a health nutrition?
Yes.
Right there. There's you take all the excuses,
Yes.
all the questions, all that bullshit goes away.
110%.
You just got, all you have to do is log in and follow the plan. That's
Yes.
it.
And that's I just want us to be a resource for people who need that extra help.
Right.
And like I said in the beginning of the show, like my wife was like, hey, we need to do more. We're not doing enough, right? If you can do more, you're not doing enough. So we just feel like this is a great opportunity. I'm pretty sure there's other people potentially doing it. I don't know anybody in Jacksonville who else does this. And if they take the idea, hey, great, help other people.
Right.
Great. Take the idea.
More healthy people. Good.
Yeah, take the idea. Fantastic. Shit ton of work. If you're ready to do it, do it. But I know that I'm pretty sure there's other like big companies who are doing this already. But why not start small and help people better? As much as possible.
Your wife must be watching, because every time you mention your wife, your phone dings.
Shout out Kalila. That's
I'm
my
just
wife.
kidding.
So,
Shout out. Yeah. Thank you for so much for like giving him to me for a little bit.
Absolutely.
You could have brought her. I don't care.
Well, she's getting her hair done today.
Oh, okay. That's more important. For sure.
We got date night tonight.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you. Like, what is your personal, like, what does your day look like as far as like your routine and workout and stuff like that?
All right, so my workout routine. So I have a pet peeve. Well, not pet peeve. So for me, ever since I started this journey, if you will, of I know I don't want to miss family time.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I try to start early, and I try to encourage people to start early. So
While everybody sleep.
while everybody sleep, you're not missing anything. You're not building memories while they're asleep. Right.
Right.
So I like to start early before they even get up. Right. So like I'll use today, even though it's a small sample size since it's Saturday. So typically on Saturday, my wife doesn't get up between about 7 to 8. My daughter doesn't get up about 8, 9. So I'll get up at 4:15, no later than 4:30. I'm at the gym by 5. By the time I get home, 6:30, maybe 7 o'clock, she's just getting up. So I didn't miss anything.
Right.
So now I can that's her time. We do whatever she wants to do and all stuff, because my time, I had my time. I had a whole hour and a half to myself.
Right.
So I'll get up, do that workout, come home, do breakfast, whatever, yada yada. I don't go back and work out again the next day. I mean later today. I won't do that because now it's all done. All my work is done in the beginning. And then Saturdays usually like Wednesdays and Saturdays. Let me just touch on this.
Yeah.
I call them check-ins.
Okay.
Wednesdays and Saturdays are my check-ins. So I check in with the people I coach, whether that may be a FaceTime, maybe a phone call, maybe a quick text. That's my days to check and see how the whole week was. That's typically what I do in the morning. That's usually Monday through Friday. I like to go through their plans, make sure everybody's good. And then I'll be at home. Being online, I work out. I work from home.
Right.
So, and then if I try to, build these relationships I talk about, from affiliate contracts or networking events or just small things like that, that's typically what my days are like. Just trying to research, see who's out there, see what other companies I can work with. Sometimes when I'm on social media, when I look at my social media feed, I'll see who just started following me. I'll look at my DMs. Who's the last person I had a conversation with? Because I do want to build relationships with people, potentially have coaches, people that I can coach, because I left that part out. Shout out to Christina and Courtney. I have 2 other coaches that do this with me.
That's what's up.
How did I leave that out? Sorry, ladies. How did I leave that out? That was another thing. We brought on 2 other coaches to do this with
awesome.
us. So
Can't do it all by yourself.
No, because at capacity, I can between 25 to 30 people is most people I can coach at one time.
Yeah.
Because after that, it'll be too much for me, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
So we brought in 2 other ladies to do this with us. So Courtney, she is, I actually coach her. Me and her have been working together for like a year and a half. So I've been coaching her. Her and Chris actually did the show together down in Orlando.
Oh, cool.
So they did this show together. And then Christina, she is about to get out the Navy. She's here in Jacksonville. So she's from New Jersey. So so they've been helping me. Well, they've been employed through for us as Team Ambition. So they coach on the Team Ambition. I say all to say, I forgot where I was leading to. I forgot what I was talking about before I said that, but I'm glad they're part of our team.
No, that's fantastic, and I'm glad to see that you are growing. You're growing to where you like. Well, we were talking about your routine.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good. I just remember too, because I do that. My brain just it just floats off into the
squirrel, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah. You get to talking and explaining things, and your brain goes left and then right, and then you're like, where the fuck was I?
Yes.
I'm directionally, conversationally challenged, but yeah. It's good to see that your business is growing so much that you can you need to bring in extra people to help, and it gives them an opportunity to build their own little atmosphere, the little stratosphere, the little world building.
Yeah, I just want to pour into them, all the things I'm still learning. I'm always going to be a student of, business, fitness, this whole 9. But all the challenges or all the things I've done, I want to pour into them so they can pour into other people.
That's fantastic, man. I love that. That's so good. Shit, I forgot what I was just about to ask you.
Honestly, that's pretty much my day. I get up early in the morning to work out. I come home when my daughter's, when she's in school. I'm thankful that I'm able to take her to school. Or whatnot.
That's
I'll
cool.
come home, at about 8:30 or so, and just that's when my work starts. To be honest with you, just I'm looking through my socials, see who I need to talk to. Looking at my calendar, seeing what I have for that day. If I have a business meeting or a network opportunity to connect with people, that's typically what my day looks like.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy that, and I talk to a lot of business owners about this very thing. Is like when you start a business, you don't realize that you also have to be a social media guru, content creator, and for most businesses, that's where the only place you can really promote. Anymore. I mean, no one reads the paper, so you can't put ads in there. television making commercials. Why?
Yes.
You could do it. You can still do it, but not. The only people that are going to watch it are like boomers. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Like old people that are not going to join. You
Not at
know,
all.
and they're just like, I'm just watching Dr. Phil. Get this shit off. You know, but
Yes.
yeah. Has that been like a challenge, man? Like the content creating?
Yes. One thing when you look at my social media, there's one thing when you see people working out. There's one thing you will hardly ever see me.
Oh.
So the way I like my perspective is this: like, if I'm a personal trainer, if I'm in the fitness space, why would you care to watch me work out? I mean, other people work out and post themselves working out. My perspective, I just don't see a purpose of what is it in it for you, right?
Right.
So if I'm showing you the people that I'm training, this is what they look like. This is what they're doing. This is their transformation. This is what I can do for you.
The proof's in the pudding, so you're
Exactly.
showing the pudding.
Right. Exactly. So to me, like, why would you want to watch me work out? I'm supposed to work out.
Yeah, but
right?
people still watch cooking shows, dude.
True. Yeah. Very true. Very true. Maybe I need to kind of shift my perspective, but to answer your question, yeah, making content
It's very hard.
It's hard, but then also when you're doing it, through your computer or through your phone or whatever, it's so time consuming.
Yeah.
Ugh. So now I understand why other companies, they hire other people to do it.
Right.
Because if I can if from a financial standpoint, we do have a budget, but from a financial standpoint, if I can afford to have somebody do this for me day in, day out, hey, please do it. Here's the payment for it. It's just so much. It's just so time consuming.
100%.
So,
well, I mean, I have a few of those friends that watch this show, so they might be reaching out to you.
Please do, absolutely, because
that's what they do is they do content for a lot of businesses and things of that nature, and there's guys all over Jacksonville that'll do that for you. So
yes,
it's. Everybody wants to be a content creator these days, and like for someone like me, it's I don't really like doing it for myself, but I do it, very little.
Yes,
but it's just easier to cut content for other people because you already got a thing. You already do this thing, and all I got to do is film it and then cut it together, and here you go. But yeah, that's definitely. I think that would be a good spend because you want your business to grow. You want to get, and it is, but you want it to grow faster. Social media is where it's at. Plus, now you can get paid from social media.
Yes.
You get enough subscribers and followers or whatever the hell. I mean, you can do your paid page. You can do your regular page. You can have people Patreon. There's so many ways to make money.
And that's on top of making the content. Another time-consuming thing is there's one or two people that I follow that's in this space that's doing all this stuff, and I watch the content and I try to study it.
Yeah.
And, when they send out, hey, learn how to do this free stuff, and I'll read over this stuff. So that's time-consuming because I'm trying to learn and stay not just stay relevant, but stay up to speed with what's going on in social media because technology changes so fast.
Yeah.
So trying to learn and study, understand it, apply it. Now I got my other coaches. Now I got to teach them or show, hey, this is how you're going to be able to attract more people to your page or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's time consuming.
So it could be a good idea for you just to be like a page full of collaborations and let your clients that are out there working and they're filming themselves and they're making their own reels and then they collaborate with you and it might be that might be super helpful to you. I have met a few people that do not post anything. They've never posted a thing. Everything on their page is all 100% collaborations. I'm like, wow. And they had shitload of followers and subscribers.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Write that down.
Yeah. It's a little piece of advice. I mean, because like you said, the proof's in the pudding. The people that are working out with you that are changing their lives the hard way.
Yes.
Basically they're changed through nutrition and health and, working out and all those things. I think them filming themselves and uploading it, that's what people want to see. And it does showcase, what you're all about at Team Ambition Fitness. This is something that's like a misnomer that I think a lot of people, and I had this conversation with somebody the other day, and it's just something that I learned over the period of time, but this girl was she's like, I need to lose weight. And she's like, I just don't want to work out. And I said, well, you have to fucking work out. You have to lift some heavy things. And I know she's like, I don't get all muscly. I said, you're not going to. I said, but you got to work the muscles and then they eat the fat. I mean, I was like, I'm not a doctor. I don't know how that shit works, but it feels like to me, you work out, you build muscle, and then your body absorbs fat and then excretes it. However, right? I mean, is that
For the most part, yes.
Somewhere along the lines?
Yeah. So with this person, with this individual, if she doesn't want to work out, you're not gonna maybe not gain muscle this way, but even if even
it's
that
the
person,
quickest way.
It is honestly
to
because
work out.
If you're doing weight training or strength training or whatever you want, resistance training, tomato, after you work out, after you had a great workout, whatever body part you're doing, whatever you're doing, that resistance training, after you've worked out, your metabolism starts kicking. Your body's eating away at all the calories that you've already consumed after you're done.
Right.
When you're doing cardio and all you're gonna do is walk around or run or whatever, which is great. Nothing wrong with that.
No, it's
whatsoever.
Good.
But it's only burning up at that time. That if you're running or doing cardio for 30 minutes, it's burning calories at that time. After you stop doing that cardio, calorie burns stops. Versus weight training, resistance training, you're burning calories while you're doing it, and your body's still repairing and it's still burning up calories after you do it. So you get more bang for your buck doing resistant training. It doesn't mean you have to go in there and like lift heavy, crazy weights.
Right,
it just means, hey, move something with your, with the weight in your hand or in your leg or whatever, So that part. One of the other things, I'm gonna say this because when you said it was like a trigger when you said, hey, I don't want to get all muscly. That is like a huge thing for women. Sorry. Women don't want to look like men. Well, it takes forever for the body to change, right? 3-6 months ish, plus or minus, just for the change. So if a woman thinks that they're going to look like a man in a month, it's not going to happen. It takes so long for that body to adapt to all these different things, all these different changes that you're doing. So it takes so long for the body to change. It's going to take even longer for a woman to look like a man. So lifting heavy and all that stuff like that, it doesn't work that way.
Right.
It just doesn't.
And a lot of those women that look like their bodies look like a men's structure, they're on a lot of Mexican supplements.
A lot of them take. I mean, I would say a few may take some super supplements.
Yeah.
Just as long as it takes for an individual who decide to, or I don't want to say decide. That's not the right word. I want to be politically correct, but a person who has gained a lot of weight, right? It may have took that person a long time to gain a lot of weight.
Right.
It's going to take even longer just to get the weight off.
Yeah, it's someone described it as like a half-life. Like nuclear waste has a half-life. Things. If it took you 10 years to get this out of shape, it's going to take you 15, 20 years to get back. And so it's not.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing that a lot of people don't. And again, it's a misnomer. You think, oh, I'm gonna start lifting weights and I'm gonna get fit right away. Some people's genetics, they can snap back really fast. Like I know for my body, if I started working out and really, I went on like a keto diet, which is something I want to kind of ask your personal opinion on about some things like those fad diets. But like I went on a keto diet, I felt great. I had more energy than I ever had in my life. I wasn't eating carbs. That's basically what it was. And my body thinned up. I lost a lot of excess weight around my belly and everything.
Awesome.
And but I had more energy to work out. I had, so I'm, and I do I've done the whole gym membership thing. I can't do it anymore, man, because I get them and then I never go. So I have like dumbbells. I got a mat. I do crunches, sit-ups. I do squats, curls. I've got the benches there and for the table, and I'll do bench pressing with the dumbbells. That's pretty much those types of like anything I can do at home.
That's all you need.
Yeah, and it's great. And right now I'm not on any kind of fad diet, so it's taken me a little longer to lose a lot of this gut. And thank God I still have some elasticity in my skin. I hope.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, where the hell was I going with that?
You was talking about keto and the different diets.
Right. I did. Yeah. We'll just skip to that because I think that is a big question that I have for people that are in the fitness realm that take care of themselves. Is like there's so many carnivore diet, the keto diet, there's paleo diet, there's all these fad diets. What are your thoughts on those things?
So my thoughts when it comes to all these different types of diets is for me is like if you find something that works for you, you enjoy it, do that. Stay there. If you find that it helps with your you feel good, you have good health, you're enjoying the food, hey, do that.
Yeah.
My experience, personal experience, me and my wife tried keto. We tried it. I'll never forget. This is actually right before COVID. We tried it for 2 weeks. We had the worst headaches of our life.
Yeah.
So we was like, hey, this is not for us. So we just went back to traditional. Hey,
You got that keto flu.
Yeah, it was not. It didn't feel good. So we tried it for 2 weeks. So it didn't work for us.
Right.
But it worked for other people. So there's a lady, actually, we used to coach, named Stacy. She's actually here. She was big on keto. She found a lot of value in it. Enjoyed it. Had great weight loss. Had great success story. I don't think she's still doing it now. I can't remember if she's still doing it now. I'm not. But she had a really good story with her journey with it. So I'm not opposed to keto. I'm not opposed to carnivore. I'm not opposed to any of those diets as long as it's something that fits you.
Your health. Yeah.
Yes. If it works for you, hey, absolutely do it. When it comes to carnivore diets, I think I had a conversation with somebody about carnivore diet about 2 months ago. I told her the pros and cons. If all you're doing is eating meat and it's like high protein,
Right.
you need to make sure that you have fiber. You're digesting that, right? Because having high protein,
You get backed up.
Yeah, that. If anybody's had being backed up and not being able to do number 2, that's very painful.
Right,
So make sure that you have fiber. Make sure you're drinking your water. Keeping digestion going. So there's some pros and cons to it. So if you're ready to put your body through that,
It's expensive too.
Yeah, that's eating a lot of meat. That's
Red meat. Shit,
that's a lot.
Yeah.
So if that's your thing, this is what it's going to look like. Make sure you're doing this. But
Right.
If that's what you're going to do that.
Yeah,
But
definitely do your research. I would
Yes.
say if you're going to start a fad diet, and I think like things like the carnivore diet are like elimination diets, basically. Where you eliminate it's kind of like, I don't know, you know who Penn and Teller are?
Yeah, isn't that they were like magicians?
Yeah, they're comedians, but they do magic and
Yes.
stuff. Well, the big guy, Penn Jillette, he started a potato diet where he would only eat. I don't know if you know about this.
No.
Yeah, he went through this thing where he was like, I'm just going to eat potatoes. He had heard about it from somebody, so he tried it. And at first, you cook them, but you don't use anything. You just basically you bake them,
Yes.
or you boil them, however you want to do it. And he would cook them, and then he's not eating anything else. So he was eating just mountains of potatoes. Okay,
Dang.
yeah, just tons of, because he's a big guy. He's
Yes.
really tall, and eventually you're like, okay, you can add like, oh, I'm gonna throw some butter on there. But the thought behind the elimination diet is you get rid of everything that could be fucking your system up.
I like it.
Everything. And you just sustain your body with and it could be anything. It could be fucking broccoli. I don't know. Whatever you decide. But it's you just eat that thing and your body gets used to not having all those pollutants and toxins in your body. And after a certain amount of time, you're going to kind of level off. You start feeling a little better maybe. Because you're going to go through withdrawals about a lot of like sugar and all this carbs and all this stuff. I imagine your body would go through withdrawal. I imagine. I have no idea. And then you start adding things back. And when you go, oh, I had a reaction here. That's a problem. I need to get that for sure needs to go bye-bye, and then you cut it. And then you just slowly add different types of foods, all the foods that you love. And when you have a reaction to it, whether it's, I got really fat on, with this, or it gave me headaches, or, that's the idea that's the way I read it, because I do a little bit of light research.
Yes.
You got to be careful what you read these days, because you don't know who wrote that shit. But that's what I read, and I'm like, okay, elimination diet.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Sounds great, but I like food too much.
Yes. No, actually, I kind of like how that sounds.
Yeah.
It's process elimination, if I heard that correctly.
Yeah.
I had this one lady I coach currently right now. Like, she would every time she would eat broccoli, she would like, I feel so bloated. Well, we don't eat broccoli. Let's not
take broccoli away.
Yeah, let's not eat broccoli right now, because you feel bloated, you don't feel good. So after we took broccoli out, she replaced it with, I think we did like mushrooms, a green veggie. And she felt so much better. So I actually like what that sounds like.
Yeah, because you think about it, we go to restaurants, we eat at home, we make our own meals, we order shit, DoorDash is so easy.
Yes.
They're making, us being unhealthy so easy nowadays.
Convenient.
Yeah, convenience is what we're all about. But it's just, finding the thing that is fucking you up. And it's something.
Yes.
And I definitely believe We are. This is a vehicle, meat vehicle, and we are literally what we put in our body. And I mean, there's people that have. I mean, it could. My grandson, take this. This is a good example for the reds and the yellow dyes.
Yes.
You know that they're trying to take out of food now here in America. I'm good with that. Get that shit. I don't care what my food color is. Okay,
Yes.
if it tastes good, fine.
Absolutely.
But you know, he was a little unhinged. You know, for a minute there. You know, just wild. She knows he was wilding, and you know, and my daughter didn't know how to control him. She didn't know he got. You know, I don't want to put all their business out there, but he had some things happen, and they were like, we got to make a change. So, you know, I don't know where she heard it or read it somewhere. Somebody told her, hey, maybe look into this. And so she did, and she went through her house and removed anything processed that said red 40 and yellow, whatever, anything that had dyes in it. And she just threw it all in the trash. And basically, so now he doesn't really eat a lot of processed foods anymore. And he has his whole demeanor is like night and day. He did a complete 180. I've seen it. I'm like, so there's something to that. The chemicals that we're putting in processed foods, it's fucking with kids' heads, you know, and it's messing their bodies up, and they don't know how. I think a lot of times they don't know how to control themselves. They don't know how to deal with all the things that's going on in their body, so they lash out, they do things, and whatever it may be that's causing that. But it's just like, hey, that's a real, you know, it's you know, it's just my story, so it's not like a real research project. I didn't like do a double-blind placebo, but you know, it's just
the power
something
of
real,
food, man. Damn.
Yeah.
You know, there's a pocket. So when you talk about like research and be careful where you get your information from.
Right.
One of the things that I try to tell people when in this coaching space is like, you know, if you're constantly getting information for so many different people, it's going to be hard to make up your mind which one you're going to trust.
Right.
So I like to try to like find 2 or 3 people that I follow on social media. If I'm going to get their information, I follow them and then look up their information. So that maybe when you said potatoes, I remember this as a company or a group I follow or listen to their podcast. It's called Mind Pump. And he talked about, one of the guys was talking about like potato chips when you said that. He was like, you know, I hope I'm not misquoting this, but it was like 1 bag of potato chips is actually one regular potato. So if you could eat 1 whole regular potato, it's going to be harder for you to eat. There we go. It's harder you eat 1 full regular potato than it is a bag of potato chips, because that bag of potato chips has so much processed food and it makes it taste good. Yeah. But when you eat a whole potato, it's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah, it's
something
like,
along that line.
It's similar to. I've seen people chug beers. They can shotgun a beer.
Yes.
Get that whole beer down their gullet in less than 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But if you hand them a glass of water,
can't do it.
I want you to see you chug that in one go. They won't do it.
Yeah.
You know, they purse their mouth up. They act like it's killing them. I'm like, bro, what? You know, because our body, it's a drug.
Yes.
I mean, food is a drug. I mean, we're all addicted.
Yes.
You know, I'm fine with that. You know, I mean, like, I need it to live.
Yes.
But I mean, you hear stories like we looked up on the podcast one time. I had heard a story about a guy that fasted for 360 days or something like that. It was in Russia. Yeah, he was straight. Well, he was in a hospital, and it was under doctor supervision. You know, they had IVs, and I think he got like coffee maybe, but like, and some water, but he didn't, but he was huge. He was like over 400 pounds, you know, something like that, where he couldn't move. And so he was like, fuck it, I'm going to try it. You know, so he went, I believe it was in Russia, and it was a long time ago. But he was the only person that I've ever seen. You know, I've heard this story so many times now, and we looked it up on the podcast. But you can do that. If you're that big, your body will eat up all of that fat, all of it. It'll eat. Yeah. And just stop eating, and it'll eat. It'll keep you sustained and survive. I mean, obviously, you want to maintain your fluids.
Yeah.
And make sure that you're not, you know, dehydrating and all of that stuff. I'm not a doctor. I won't subscribe that to anybody or prescribe that to anybody, but it can be done, you know. So, but we are addicted to food.
If I may ask, have you ever purposely fasted for like, you know, 24 hours?
Oh, I like food too much. I tend to, I'll experiment with it on the weekends.
Yes.
You know, but I have to be not doing anything. This is my problem. If I move my and this is crazy to me because my metabolism is so freaking high, but I can't lose this gut. You know, but I look at the shit that I eat. You know, my girl loves to cook. And I love it, and I like to eat, so we have a good relationship. You know what I mean? So I think that is a lot of it's portion control for me. But if I'm gonna not eat, I'll pick a movie or have a stream of movie, and I will sit there the entire like Friday, Saturday, or whatever, and not eat. But I don't move. If I move too much, then I get hungry.
Yes.
But if I just stay dormant, it's like my system goes, okay, he's in chill mode.
Yeah.
You know, and what's crazy is if I watch a movie that's got a lot of action in it, I get hungry. I've heard that. You know, I've heard comedies and action movies and scary movies. You can actually burn calories during watching those movies because your heart rate goes up.
Yes, because you're excited. You're like, what's going to happen next?
Oh,
bang, bang.
All the chemicals are firing.
Yeah.
You know, I know there's research about that, but I just, you know, for me, I know that happens. And I can sit, but if I get up and if I'm like, oh, I got to go do this or do that, or, you know, we got to go, you know, whatever it is, anything physical that I've got to do, I'm going to eat something.
Okay. Yeah, I thought actually, I personally, I've never intentionally fasted. I remember, and there's a reason why. When I was younger, I never forget. I think I was probably like middle school. I didn't eat breakfast one morning. I went to school. I had the craziest headache.
Yep.
And then after I ate something for lunch, I felt so much better. Mm-hmm. So from there, I had like a non-negotiable. Like that, I would never miss breakfast because I don't like that feeling of like that headache.
Yeah.
So even since then, like when I was in the military, I don't care if I was late for work or whatever, I would not miss breakfast.
They make you eat in the military, don't they?
Well,
you gotta
for the most part
show up for mess.
For the most part,
yeah.
But yeah, that's like a non-negotiable. I would never miss breakfast.
Now, is that okay? So that just brought up another. Where are we at on time? Because we're gonna keep talking. If you just roll the cursor over the, Oh, it's 4. What time do we start? 2:30, 2:45. Damn, we're going, baby. Anyway, you got anywhere to be today? You got a date night.
Yeah.
Don't let me get you late.
I'm good for another hour if you are.
Okay.
So.
Don't make me late, man. I don't need that on my conscience.
I'll send her over here.
She could take it out on me. Breakfast.
Okay.
We've often been told that breakfast is the most important meal of the day and you must eat it. But then recently, I have been hearing from other health people, and again, be careful who you listen to, but they're like, you don't need to eat breakfast. Just drink a big ass glass of water, you know, and it'll like a glass of room temperature water. Cold water will slow down your metabolism, you know, but warm water or like room temperature water will help to start your metabolism for the day. Mm-hmm. That's what I've heard. Now, I've tried that and I got the same effect, especially with taking like vitamins.
Yes.
If I don't put something on my stomach, I get nauseous, I get a headache, I get dizzy. It's not good. So I wake up and I don't know what kind of breakfast you're eating, but like for me, it's like roasted mini wheats. You know what I mean? That's like the healthiest shit. It's either that or Raisin Bran. Okay. You know what I mean? This is and I don't eat but maybe an ounce, maybe less. You know, just enough to fill the bottom of the bowl.
Yes.
Put a little lactose-free milk because I can't take lactose.
Yes.
But, you know, and I put a little bit of that in there and I eat that and that's enough. You know, and that'll carry me through till about from 2:30 in the morning till about 10:30.
Okay.
In the morning. And then I sit down and I'll eat a light lunch. It's usually like a little like lunch meat wrapped around some cheese and some fruit. That's it.
No coffee? Not coffee?
Oh, no. I have a minimum of 2 cups every day. A minimum. I'm a little crazy. On the weekends, I'll drink like 2 pots a day.
Yeah.
Especially on podcast day.
Yeah.
Normally, I make a pot in the morning and I'll drink most of it. Like she might have a little cup. And then I make another pot right before podcast, and I'll usually have a whole pot sitting out here, and I'm just like,
yeah,
you know. But then I gotta piss,
yeah,
you know. And it was not like we're live, so Absolutely. It's not like I can just stop,
yeah,
you know. And she would probably be a little weirded out if I was like, hey, you guys just talk. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. If Pat was here, he would for sure do it. You know, she'll get there. She'll get there. You're not used to it yet. You'll get used to it, and you'll get used to talking on here. She's miming over there.
Okay.
She's like,
hey, feel free if you got something to say, you can definitely chime in.
Absolutely. You have to unmute that though.
Okay.
Anyhow, I appreciate you being here.
I think you're doing an
There
awesome
you
job,
go.
So yeah. But well, I forgot the original question.
Breakfast.
Breakfast. Okay, yeah. So my perspective is, of course I'm gonna say this because I just said I love breakfast.
Yeah.
But I think people should have breakfast because it's a good way to start. Put fuel in your body, and I think that if you're a person trying to lose weight, and this is going to actually help me segue into this too. If a person's trying to lose weight, right, you want to have a big breakfast, so to speak, right? So if you have a big breakfast, then your lunch is a little bit smaller than your breakfast, and then your dinner is a lot smaller than what you have for breakfast, and it's smaller than what you're having for lunch. So you're not you're not sleeping with so much food in your stomach, so to speak.
Okay.
So at least I found that actually helps.
100%.
So, but I do think having breakfast is important, but then you have to go into, when we talked about fasting, we're going to talk about a little bit about intermittent fasting.
Okay.
So that's your window of, let's say 24 hours, you're doing 8 hours of, I hope my math is now off, 8 hours of eating, 16 hours of fasting. That's
Right.
24 hours, yeah.
So
within that 8 hours, let's say I shouldn't do this out loud, math out loud.
It's okay, dude. I'm not going to check you. I'm horrible at math too.
So let's say you start at 6 a.m.
Let's rage bait them.
So let's say your hours of eating from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. I think that's 8 hours. So within that window, you eat. After 2 p.m., 2:30, whatever, you don't eat again until 6 o'clock that next day. Right. So at least you're getting your food, your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, everything else in between in that hour, in those 8 hours.
Right.
So I think breakfast is important, but depends who you ask. They probably won't agree.
I think it also depends on a lot of diets. People, and this is the problem that I have.
Absolutely should.
There is like we talked about fad diets and this and that, and you get all these content creators out there talking about they know what you need to get to where you need. Well, every body is different.
Yes.
Every single person that's in this world is different. If we weren't, it'd be a boring ass place. But everybody's inside their body, their makeup, what they can do, whatever. It's all different. So like to your point earlier, you really need to go to a physician, have blood work done, and see what you're maybe lacking in.
Yes.
Right? I mean, do you guys advocate for that as well?
Yeah. So, I mean, especially like
before you get started working with people?
Yeah, I do recommend it. Some people have already done that before they even got to me, and we have a conversation. And
that's great.
And if somebody's already seen a nutritionist, dietitian, or whatnot before they even get to me, hey, God bless you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because, again, that's a whole nother stratosphere that is just out of my scope of practice. But I do recommend people, if they just period, in general, team ambition or not, if you get your blood work done first, see what you're missing, see where you're deficient in, talk to your healthcare provider, let him or her give you the best guidance before you start any type of brand new program, especially from a nutritional standpoint. And then obviously exercise. So yeah, 1,000%. I think that's you owe it to yourself to do that, right? To set yourself up to be in the best shape or the best healthier lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. I think that's probably one of the best ways to go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. That's something a lot of people don't think about. They just think, I'm going to get a gym membership at Planet Fitness. I'm going to be awesome by summer.
Yes.
Yeah, that don't work like that.
Yes. And, no bash. When I say this, there's no bash on any personal trainer or anything like that, any company. But that's why I want to pride online trainers for this, because one of the things is, some people, their schedules, like literally what you just said, like 2:30 in the morning. Let's say you want to work out at 2:30 in the morning. But you can't meet no personal trainer at 2:30 in the morning.
Right. Because
gyms are 9 times, well, even if it's a 24-hour gym, there's no personal trainers that's going to be there for you.
Right.
But that's the cool thing about the online space, right? You'll have a program. If you decide to work out at 2:30 in the morning, you have a program for you. That's when the motivation and accountability comes in.
Right.
You won't have a personal trainer there, like right by you, but at least you have a program that you can go off of. So that's why I really like this. I'm going down the rabbit hole, but that's why I really like the online space, because the opportunities you have to still get training done, whatever case may be. You just won't have a personal trainer there with you.
Yeah.
So
just turn on the David Goggins book and just go after it.
There you go.
That dude's. I read his books. Well, I did the Audible.
He's intense.
I don't ever have time to read, but like sit down and read a book. Like, so Audible's great.
Yes.
And I read his books, and between him and I don't know if you've ever heard of a guy named Cameron Haynes.
I have not.
He's a bow hunter, but he is the best bow hunter in, I don't know, the world, and that's how he got popular. But he works out, and him and David Goggins are best friends now. They're like good buddies. They do the Moab 420 together, and like that's insane to me. And like, but they both, and they have like similar types of background, you know, the upbringing and stuff. And it's really like, I was so nervous to listen to, because I've heard David Goggins on like other podcasts,
Yes.
and I'm like, God, this motherfucker is so intense, you know. And I'm just like reading his book, listening to it while I'm working, and I'm like, I got done early, like by 2 hours that day. I was just like, everything,
Yes.
you know, because he's so intense, and he talks about his life, and you know how he was overweight, and you know he had to overcome, and he went through like buds like 4 times
Yes.
before he actually made it through. That's insane,
Yes.
crazy work, bro. Like, I couldn't imagine. I would have been done afterwards, like the first time. I'm just like, I'm out, you know.
Yes.
I'd have hit that bell. I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, you know, him and people like that, their discipline or their drive and focus is like next level.
It's no other, yeah.
You know, I think for me or anybody else, like no matter what discipline you're in, when I say discipline, what industry you're in, that person that you look up to, that you want to emulate, that successful person, however you want to define success, they all got something in common. Their focus, their discipline, and their structure is like next level.
Yeah.
So, and we have somebody that we look up to. So for me, I don't want to sound cliche or like everybody else, but like Kobe Bryant, right? You know, God bless him. I cried when he died.
Yeah.
I never met the guy.
Yeah.
But cried when he died because he got kids, you know, girl dad, you know, whole nine.
Oh, yeah.
But I really looked up to how he approached, you know, basketball, business, and stuff like that. You know, that whole mama mentality. And I find myself watching a lot of his old interviews, podcasts, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I look at him as being very successful, not because he won championships in NBA and all stuff like that.
And there's something to that wisdom.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to it. I'm just like, wow, you know, and that whole idea about starting early in the morning, honestly, not just because of the military, I kind of took that from him. Because he would start so early in the morning. He got so much more done just starting early. And I try to, you know, not preach, but I try to ask people to do the same thing. Like, start early. If you start early, you get so much more done than your competition or other people. So
yeah, it's easy to.
You start early.
Yeah, but it's like on my weekends, I'm sleeping in though. You know, I'm really bad about my sleep schedule. Friday night, I stay up all damn night.
But your sleep you sacrificing something. You may be sacrificing your sleep, but you're getting so much more done.
Yeah.
While your other competitors or people who are in this space aren't.
Right.
So I'm trying to reframe it.
You know, I do appreciate that, and you know, and I thank you for looking out for my my image but I don't care. No, when I stay up all night, I'm like when everybody's in bed. I will go on my notes app and I'll write stuff, you know, like I'm not trying to be a comedian, but I like to write jokes just for fun of it.
Absolutely.
So I'll write stuff down, little ideas, and then expand on them, or I'll just watch anime because I'm a nerd. I do that a lot.
Well, that's where you probably find some great creativity, some ideas. Probably.
Yeah. Sometimes. Oh yeah, sometimes. So. But yeah, or I'll come out here when everybody's asleep, and I will edit. You know, I'll edit clips. I'll do things. I mean, you have to find the time to do the things that you need to do or want to do. The things that you want to do are not always in the scope of the things that you need to do.
Yes.
Does that make sense? So like, if you want to be healthy, and you know you have to do all these, but you need to do all these things, but you want to be. So you got, like you said, you got to schedule out time and quadrant that off separate from the things you're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
So I remember, you know, when I got my first apartment after my divorce, it was we had a gym in that mug, and it was great. Nobody worked out in there ever. I was always the only person in the whole little gym, but I would get up early, and I would, you know, like 45 minutes early, maybe a little more, and I would get up and jog to the gym, and I'd work out for about 30 minutes, and then I would do some laps in the pool.
Yes.
That's right outside the gym. Get out, run back to the apartment, shower, get ready for work, and go. And I want to tell you, I don't know why I don't do this anymore because I never felt so damn good in my entire life. Ever. And I looked great. I had energy all day long.
Love that.
All day long. I was also meal prepping. I had the little containers all in the fridge. I'd buy like 2 bags of those frozen chicken breasts and just cook them all.
Yeah.
You know, but that was my meals. I would like chicken breast and broccoli and green beans and then like a little, every now and then steak or fish. But I would just meal prep everything, you know, and it did help a lot.
Love that.
You know, stress mentally, like, what am I going to eat today? You know, no, it's there.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Planned out already.
Yeah, so, I mean, there is something to it. I have, you know, the proof is in my own pudding. You know, for me, I know that I feel better.
Yes.
But there's something holding me back. And I think that's where you come in as a trainer. You figure that shit out.
Yes.
And you bust through that and you help people to get through their bullshit and whatever it is that's holding them back. You know.
Yes. You know, one of the things these last year and a half or so, I've got so obsessed is not the right word. I'm intrigued. Is about human behavior, and I found out that studying it or trying to understand human behavior, emotional intelligence, all this stuff like that. Not to nerd it out, but but I found that really helps me with coaching and helps me understand people. So one of the things I found that, you know, there's another book I read. It's called Quiet Leadership. Quiet Leadership. So pretty much the premise is a lot of times we know the answer already. I learned this in therapy myself.
Oh, okay.
A lot of times we know the answers. We just got to say it out loud. So instead of me telling you what to do, hey, go outside and go for a run. I reframe it. Hey, what is an option you have to be active? What are some of the things you can do? Maybe I go outside for a run. Cool, let's do that. When can you commit to doing that? How many days a week can you commit to doing that?
So you put it on them.
Correct. I don't tell you what to do. You're going to say it out loud through my questioning.
Yeah.
So then once you say it out loud and you tell me what you're going to do, that's when accountability comes in.
Yeah. That's when you put the spurs like, all right, then go do it, bitch.
Yeah. So I don't have to, I already know the answers. You know the answers. It's just you got to say it out loud. So once you say it out loud, I can hold you accountable to what you say.
That's the part. And I tell people all the time, you know, I'm like, shit, I want to get healthy, man, but I need somebody to come kick my damn door in the morning and make me get up out of bed and go for a run or do some push-ups and some workouts.
Yes.
Ain't nobody finna do that. You know, there was a funny video. I'm sure you've seen it. It was like people dressing up like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with a chainsaw, and they would bust through the door and wake the lady up, and she's like out running, and he's like, "This is my new training."
Oh my gosh! No, I've never seen that meme because some of my I call them team members. I don't call them clients. I don't like that word clients. For us. Yeah. But they would tag me or like send me DMs of that video like that. Like, hey, this is me. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's hilarious.
There's another meme that's probably old. I don't know the guy's name. Some black dude. He's fairly really big. I remember seeing he would like walk into either Burger King or like Dunkin' Donuts, and one of the clients had like Dunkin' Donuts or something in their hand.
Smack it out.
And smack it in their hand and be like, hey, get out of here and go work out or some shit like that. So stuff like that is pretty funny. So it's pretty cool.
It is funny. And it's like, man, how you like say how cool it would be to have one of those people, but you know, you would be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I heard a story about David Goggins. I can't remember who it was, but there was some dude and he met him and he was a famous guy. Obviously he had money or whatever, but they became friends and he's like, David, I need your help, man. I want to get healthy. He's like, I'm going through stuff. Like, I need to get healthy. So Dave's like, all right. So he shows up at his door with a suitcase one day. And did you not hear this story?
No,
it might be in one of his books. I can't remember, but he showed up at his house with a fucking suitcase. And this dude's like standing in the front door like, what are you doing, David? And he's like, I'm moving in, bitch. And he's and his wife, the guy's wife's like, what the and he's living here now, you know, and so
I love that.
He said he stayed there for months, like just living with him and his wife.
This is a true story.
True story that he told this story. You can fact check me.
Oh, no, absolutely.
And he's like, he would get up every morning when he got up for his run, you get up for his run too. And as far as he's running, that's how far you running.
Be careful what you wish for.
Be careful what you wish for. But it's always funny, like guys like him. Even he will say, he's like, dude, there's days I look at them damn running shoes for 30 minutes and he's like, I don't want to do it. You know, and he just has to, you have to get pushed past that. And that's where I'm at. I've
Yes.
got to push past it and just go ahead and do it. Because even for the healthiest people in the world, it's still a struggle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even me, I mean, I like I said in the beginning, like, I'm not perfect. There's days where, like, so transparently speaking, one of my weaknesses is cheesecake. There's a if you guys had a cheesecake in front of me right now,
She's got cheesecake cookies, bro.
we'll be right back after this commercial.
Look at that.
Well, we'll be right back.
It's crazy.
I mean, I don't care who you are. Nobody's perfect. We all have weaknesses. We all are vulnerable. Sometimes there's times when you should have a cheat day or whatever, treat day, whatever.
Yeah, however you
call
want
it.
it. Yeah.
I mean, because we're human, you deserve it, right? So you just got to do it in moderation.
Right.
So, but yeah, even for me, like, I love cheesecake. So one of the things I used to love ice cream. That was like my weakness. If they had an ice cream anonymous, I would have so many chips. But because of that, because I loved it so much, I had to give it up.
Yeah.
Because I kept eating it all the time. That was my not breakfast, excuse me. That was my lunch. It could have been, right?
I mean, it's just frozen milk, right?
Well, actually, so it was really milkshakes. That was my thing from, so like, I would, for years, so I gave up ice cream probably, I think back in 2012.
Oh my God.
So I've had ice cream for like, 12, 13 years.
Jesus.
Because of that, right?
So none at all.
None.
You're just sober off of ice cream.
Yeah. I'm not Superman, but I was telling my wife, like, I don't like how it makes me feel.
Okay.
Because I couldn't eat. I'm not lactose intolerant. I couldn't stop eating it. So I was like, hey, I gotta stop eating this. So let's not buy ice cream for a little bit. So she would stop buying ice cream, and then I'm like, hey, you can put it in front of me.
we're done.
I'm good. You can eat ice cream all you want. It doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah.
But because I liked it so much, I had to get off of it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I did the same thing, but with alcohol. I was
Understandable.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. It's just a different.
It's a drug.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
is a drug, and it's no different than alcohol or crack. I mean, it's the same shit. You get addicted to certain things, and sugar is the most addictive.
Yes.
I think there's actually a study out that says sugar is the most addictive thing in the world, and it's the hardest thing to crack and break. I don't know if I'll ever quit ice cream though.
Yeah, it was a tough give up, but I used to, at one point I had stopped drinking. Then after I retired, I started drinking again. Recently, I told my wife I don't want to drink anymore, so I stopped drinking probably about 6-7 months ago.
Okay.
But that leads me to a question. Let me get your thoughts on this.
Sure.
What do you think? Just use United States. Let's not use the whole world.
Yeah.
What would you, if United States went to, instead of healthy food being so expensive and cheaper non-healthy food was, if they switched?
Yeah.
Do you think that more people would still?
Of course.
Okay.
Well, I think that. Well, let me let you finish your question. I think.
Well, that's pretty much really. If they swap their prices.
Do you think people would go to the healthier food or stay
if it was more
eating?
affordable?
I think a lot of people would. A lot of people. I don't know what the percentage would be. Maybe 60-40.
Okay.
I feel like if it was cheaper to buy healthy foods, I think 60% of people would do that, and I think at least 40% would say, "Fuck it, I love ice cream. I'm gonna eat the unhealthy shit."
Yes.
At least at first, and I think eventually, over time, it's gonna get better. Because you look back in the 40s and 50s, regardless of the social stuff that was going on, you could look at the human being bodies. There's videos of that. And you could look. There was no overweight people back then. Not a lot.
Right.
Very few. But that was right before they started doing all this freeze dried, and they wanted to. It was like the Depression. People were fucking hungry. They were.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. So it was but they used to make you work out in school. There were programs in place to keep people healthy.
Yes.
We ate better foods. Preservatives. What is that? You know what I mean? There was a preservative. You put it in the fridge. That's it. If it goes out bad, then it goes bad. You throw it out. So people would eat fresher food back then. But now you can have a cheeseburger from McDonald's. You can leave it on your counter for 3 years, and it's going to look exactly the same as when you laid it down.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's scary. And that's going inside of our bodies. And that's one of the things that worries me is you hear the term, I don't know if you've ever heard the term forever chemicals.
That sounds familiar.
So there are things in everything that we eat, put into our mouth, everything. There's these things called forever chemicals. They're never going to go away. And once they get in your body, they're in there. You know, and whether that's I don't know exactly what they would be consisting of, but I've heard those terms and I've looked into it, but it's just like forever chemicals. Okay, like pesticides, or like, is it like the plastics is a big one? You know, there's things in plastics that just mess us up bad. You know, but it's like it's in everything petroleum, plastic, everything it's all in like the containers that we use to drink and eat with. You know, like, what are we supposed to do? All have metal cups and glass cups? Like, no, man, you know, we need things to function properly. You need the plastic on your water bottle so it doesn't break and spill out all over the place.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We got to have these things, you know, but the shit's in our clothes. I mean, it's just insane. Forever chemicals. I look into that. But
damn.
Oh yeah, it's scary to think about. You know, microplastics. They say, and this is again, this is just hearsay.
Yeah.
But I've heard where they've done studies, or scientists have said, whatever that means, anecdotally maybe. But we eat about a credit card worth of plastic every week. Or every day, every week. I think it's every week. It might be a month. I don't know. This is just hearing it, and then I'm regurgitating.
Just a thought of that.
Yeah. You don't even know it. You know what I mean? You're ingesting all that shit. So they're like worried about eating, the plastic straws and fucking up the turtles. I'm more worried about it fucking us up.
Yeah.
You know, and it is. It does a lot of bad things to us. And, that's why I say there's so many things that in this world that we could look at. They're like, like people are worried about vaccines causing autism. Like, well, there's a lot of factors to take in before you just point the finger to one thing. Mm-hmm. It might be, it might not be. Could be your food. Could be, this. Could
so
be
many
that.
variables.
Could be the medication you're taking. Could, if you think about it, in here in America, we want a magic pill for everything.
Yes. To make
you about to say something?
Time go away. To make pain go away.
You can.
Go
I
ahead.
was just going to say, you don't want to bring up vaccines with me. Because I work in that field, and they don't cause autism.
Well, I know. I'm not saying that they do.
No, I know.
I'm just simply saying that, I don't know. I know there might have been some research, but I don't know if there's enough, and there's a lot of that with not just those, but it's like everything.
Yeah. And
we want a magic pill for everything. We want a magic pill to lose weight. We want a magic pill to feel happy. I'm depressed. Take this. You're good. And one of the things that I have, like I said, we were talking about earlier, is like I felt so much better when I was getting up early and working out. Like I didn't have depression. I was actively going through a fucking divorce, which I would never wish on my worst enemy. It's not a fun time. I should have been depressed, but I'm happy. I've got my kids. I got my dogs. I'm working out. My health. I don't need any medication.
I don't know if I shouldn't. I don't know if I want to quote it. I know this was a conversation I had with somebody was saying, like, the fact that you stay active, exercise, that honestly really is a help. It helps with stress. It helps with depression and all those other different things, like the holistic approach versus, pills and all those other things like that. So my thought also to that is, what happens when you run out of that pill? You don't have that pill anymore. What are you going to turn to, right? What's going to be the substitution for that pill?
Right.
So I think having some of those healthy habits that we just been discussing, those will help when those pills don't.
Right. It can't hurt to at least try it.
Yeah.
And knowing that like the majority of our medications we found out during COVID, it comes from China. Mm-hmm. We rely on them to manufacture a lot of our medications. And so a lot of people during that time when there's the whole import-export system was kind of shut down because of COVID. So there was a lot of people that had medication that they needed to take, but they couldn't get it. And it was a lot. You remember there was a lot of stuff, like I know with Alana, there was things that she was out of. I don't know if any of the stuff that you take was out, but but a lot of people in America didn't realize that we're not manufacturing that shit here. It's coming from overseas, and we're trusting that they're doing it right.
Yes.
And a lot of the problem I have with that is most of the shit that they build over there, these iPhones, and all the materials that they dig out of the ground, it's all coming from slave labor. Like that's the most insane thing to me. But so instead of relying on like other countries to make these medications, would be nice if we made them here, give some people here jobs.
Yes.
But also it'd be like, maybe let's try an alternative. I'm not saying that stop doing this.
Yes.
But maybe if you do it in conjunction with this, maybe you'll feel even better.
And it'll help you cycle off of that.
Right.
So,
well, and those things, especially those like those antidepressant stuff, that is a hard thing to cycle off of. I've never had to do it, but I've seen other people go through that, and it is very hard because similar to the the hormone replacement stuff.
Yes.
Your body kind of stops making like the serotonin and all the chemicals that make you feel happy because that's what that pill is. It's activating those things in your brain, in your body. It's giving them to you. Jeez. So it just basically tells your body, don't worry, you can shut down production of that. We don't need you anymore. Just go to sleep. You're fine. And that part of you goes into a kind of like stasis and a coma. So you have to really wean off of that shit. So your body starts producing it again.
That's
like
scary.
Oxytocin and all the happy chemicals.
Yes.
It is scary. The fact that we would, instead of finding happiness and finding our own, and again, I know that there's people, and I don't want to alienate anybody. I know that there's people out there that legitimately need to take that medication or they will not be okay, and I get that. But then how many people could probably just live on some exercise a little bit, and being healthier?
Yeah, and it maybe also tying in a little bit of the therapy, like, hey, talking to somebody about some of those things. Some of those challenges. Yeah. 1,000%.
Man, we need to focus on health. It's a focus, but I think that what you're doing and helping individual people, you can't help everybody.
No.
But you can help one person at a time, and I'm sure those people are super thankful and grateful to you for getting them, even if you just got them started on a journey. Get them set up with a routine so they can take it from there. That's huge, man. And I think we need more people like you.
Thank you.
That are out there being advocates for health, and wellness, and really getting people back on the good foot. And like I said, I would rather that infect the world, than some, other type of mind virus. That's a mind virus that I can live with.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you.
You hear people talking about, you can be a workout addict. Like, I mean, are there worse things? Yeah, there are way worse things you could be addicted to.
Yes.
But you don't want to turn out like David Goggins because he's got no ligaments in his knees. He is bone on bone. Like his will is outpacing his body. And I think that there is a detriment. You can get to a point where it's a detriment.
Yes. Like overtraining and really not listening to your body. There's so many. I mean, there's so many different variables that go in that too. There's a difference between. Because some people use working out as a stress reliever, but then they overdo it,
right?
And then they don't know how to turn it off because they think they got to kill themselves in the gym for whatever reason. Some being that, hey, I want to say women, not just women, men and women, men and women. They may feel like, I had this cheeseburger, now I have to go run for 2 hours.
Yeah,
right? You don't have to do that. Okay. You don't, you don't have to kill yourself in the gym. You don't have to do all this, the extreme. You don't have to go to the extreme. It's just, okay, you had a cheeseburger or you had, XYZ, whatever it is. Okay, great. Enjoy it. Right. So then the next day, don't wait till, if it's a Friday, if it's a Wednesday, don't wait to say, I'll get better on Monday. No, it's okay. You did what you did on Wednesday. Thursday, let's get better. Yeah. That's it. You don't have to wait, X number of days. It's just the next day, you fell off the horse. Just try it again tomorrow, and you keep doing it. Keep trying. So, and don't have to kill yourself to do all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I think there's some people that they start counting calories and stuff, and they get weird about it.
So, can I dive into that?
Please.
Okay, so so one of the things for us, right? I'll have out of 7 days, I ask people to track their meals 7 days out of the week. Why do you ask them to do that? The only reason I ask people really to do that yeah, I want to see what you're eating, but also I want you to see what you're eating. So when we're done, you're not supposed to be a nutrition coach or a dietitian or anything like that. I just want you to understand what you're eating and just get used to having, again, that's talking about no restrictions, just so you can be mindful of what you're eating or whatnot. And then I want you to really enjoy the foods that you want to enjoy. Now, if you decide to log your meals every single day, hey, God bless you, cool beans, that's great. That you're very consistent. You don't have to do that. I don't actually do that, but if you do, great. But if by the end of the week, if from Sunday, or let me use Monday, from Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday, you've done great, you've eaten, whatever. Friday and or Saturday, I put it in your plan. Celebrate your wins, and that's very important to celebrate your wins. Because when I talked about looking at the smaller details, if you've done great through that whole week, hey, go out there, have your beer, go out there, do whatever it is that you like to do. Because if you've done that, right, that ratio, you can play ratio games out of 7 days, 6 days or 5 days, I was good. One or 2 days, I wasn't. You're still gonna reach your goals, right? But then also, that's motivation. That's a form of motivation, kind of like we do for kids, right? Yeah. You cleaned your room, great job. Now I'm gonna give you a lollipop or candy or whatever. Yeah. Now, if I go clean my room again,
or $1,
there you go. That's just rewarding.
I'm gonna give you $1 if you clean your room.
So yeah, so it's that same concept ish, but it's very important that we celebrate our wins.
Right. Yeah, and it creates a self accountability, self awareness. Like, oh, I didn't realize I was doing all this bad shit.
Yes,
it's like looking at like we talked about, looking at the time on your your screen time.
Yes,
you don't realize what you're intaking, what kind of food you're taking in, maybe at the time, because it's just like you're food blind.
Yes.
You're like, I don't see the Little Debbie, so it's not actually going in my mouth. Sorry, Little Debbie, I'm trying to get a sponsorship. Send Big Deborah in. It's fine.
But there are some that is also situational, because literally what you also just said, sometimes people who can take it to the extreme, okay, I can only eat 1,600 calories. I got to do this. I went over, and hey, John, I went over 5 calories. It's okay, So with situations like people who are a little bit too tight on that, I'll ask them, don't track your meals. Don't track.
You need to chill.
Yeah, let's not track meals. Let's just enjoy food or whatnot. We can have conversations about what you eat, but I don't want you to track your meals, because I don't want you to be hyper-focused, because after 12 weeks, I want you to create those habits again. You're not going to track meals your whole entire life. You shouldn't, because that's not enjoyable.
That's not life.
Yeah, who wants to track your meals every single damn day? So I just want you to enjoy the process. Listen to the signals. When I talk about listen to your body, so,
right.
So let me
make better choices.
Let me dive into that real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
So when I say the goal is to listen to your body, right? I always say that. So when your body's tired, what happens? I'm tired. That's a signal. I'm hungry. Your stomach growls. You're thirsty. Your mouth gets dry. Those are the signals, right? So I want you to be able to listen to your signals that your body gives you, and that will help you balance or make the best decisions you need to make when it's time to eat, or it's time to drink, or it's time to work out, or time to sleep, whatever. So those are the signals I'm talking about. So
that totally makes sense. I mean, eat when you're hungry, drink when you're thirsty.
Yeah.
Sleep when you're tired. I mean, it's our body will tell us what we need.
It tells me everything. The body tells you everything you need to do and everything you need to know.
Yeah.
So.
Heck yeah, man. Absolutely.
But it's hard. I'll be honest, it's still hard sometimes to listen to those signals, but the goal is to listen to them as much as possible.
It really is. And I think that, like you said, the accountability piece, self-awareness and self-accountability is huge as far as it goes with this type of thing. I know that it is for me. That's one of my obstacles. That's one of my one of the things they talk about in the War of Art is called. He calls it like it. Well, it is. It's resistance. And you have to fight the resistance, whatever that may look like. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to put my running shoes on. But guess what? Go do it anyways. And fighting the resistance is just. I think it's such a hard thing for most people.
Yeah.
Most people.
Literally what you just said a few minutes ago, like it takes David, if I heard you correctly, 30 minutes looking at running shoes or whatnot. David Goggins, I'm pretty sure he was wrestling like, do I really want to do this? All right, what's going to get me in those running shoes? So I'm pretty sure he tried to navigate through that himself. Yeah. One of the other people I like to listen to is, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of Tony Robbins. I listen to him a lot. A whole lot. When I talk about, understanding human behaviors, I listen to him and try to, put in perspective of what he's talking about, how to get people to get motivated to move. a lot of things he says, it's very powerful.
Spot on.
Yeah, I have to listen. I'm not gonna lie. I have to listen to it over and over again to make sure I capture what he's saying.
Same.
And to make sure I understand it. After I understand it, I ask myself, how can I apply it for self? Oh, so that's what it means. Now, how do I teach that to somebody else?
Right.
So that's a lot of things that I end up doing when I talk about human behavior, other than, trying to read it. But I listen to other gurus who are doing this. And so how do I do that?
It's one of the things for me with like people like him is like, how did they get so damn smart that they can, that they know all this shit? They might be younger than me and they know more. I'm like, wait a minute. Did you where did this come from? And then they can articulate it so well.
Yeah.
And if people give pushback, it's like they can talk to it. They can speak to it still. I would fold. If somebody asked me a question about anything I said today, I'd be like, I don't know. Find it for you. I mean, but that's why I try not to. When I talk about things, I'm like, this is my opinion for myself.
Yeah, perspective. Absolutely.
This is my perspective. I'm not an expert. If you want, we can look things. That's what she has a computer there. She can look shit up. And we can find out. We'll find out. And is it still factual? I don't know. Maybe because consider the source. But those people, man, they are very inspiring. And I've started listening to some of his clips, and it's just like that dude's on another level.
Yeah, it's just he's been doing something right all these years, and he's been changing. The greatest leaders we've ever known, right? Over these last 30 or 40 years or so. So I like to listen to him a lot when it comes to human behaviors, try to understand people, how to get people to be motivated, how to get people to move on to things what is he saying? How do you get people to turn their shoulds into musts?
Right.
So I try to understand that stuff and how do I apply that for me? Because I can't actually do it if I don't do it, right?
Right.
So how do I get myself to do that? Okay, now how do I do that? How would I get somebody, a coach, to do that? Right. So,
absolutely, yeah. That made me think about some things. Like, would you rather take advice on health from someone that looks like me, or someone that looks like you?
Well, you're a cool guy.
I know my answer. I'm going to you, buddy. If I saw someone that looked like me, I'd be like, motherfucker, you got all this gush around. What are you gonna show me? How to eat popcorn at the theater? Like, no, I'm not.
Yes.
I'm not degrading myself. Like, I know where my opportunities lie, but like, it is one of those things. Like, I have seen some people that are doing health stuff online and whatever, and like, they're not the best shape. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't know if I trust you.
Yes. Yes. It's kind of like if you went to a dentist and, their teeth
mouth is all black.
Yeah, they got a bunch of holes in their mouth with their teeth.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to let that person work on your mouth.
No, absolutely not.
And actually, along that line, one of the things is when you say that you're taking advice, and I said dentist, one of the things I like to tell people, regardless to I'm coaching them or not, if you're a coach, you're a personal trainer, whatever, if that person can't tell you why they're asking you to eat this, why they're asking you to do this exercise, whatever, if they can't tell you when you ask them a question, they can't tell you why, that's probably not the coach you want to go with.
Get your money back.
Exactly, because just like a doctor, if you go to your doctor and your doctor prescribes you a medication, if he or she can't tell you what that medication does and what the side effects or the whys, it's probably not the doctor you want to be using.
Right.
So I try to paint that picture when I'm working with people in that regard.
Very much so.
So yeah.
Good, man. Well, listen, I know we're close, encroaching on
awesome
3 hours maybe, but
listen,
I've had a great time talking to you.
Oh, man, no, thank you.
I'm so happy. I'm sad Chris wasn't here, but I'm glad we got a one-on-one.
Absolutely.
And y'all can come back and we can cut it up, the three of us together. I'll tell you, you're always welcome back anytime.
Thank you so much.
If you got something you want to talk about or something that's coming up or anything that's going on, hit me up. We'll get you scheduled. We'll get you out here. I'm so happy that I met you. Thank you, Chris, for introducing us.
Thank you, Chris. Love you, girly.
Yeah, she is amazing. I look forward to sitting down with her again. Like I said, I'd have her on every week.
Oh,
I told her that. I was like, she texted me. I was like, girl, don't you worry, man. You come on any fucking time you want, but.
I wouldn't be surprised if she was inspired and actually started her own podcast. I mean, I don't know why I said that's how she should.
She's busy like climbing the world or whatever she's doing next. She's like, I'm going into space. Like I wouldn't be surprised if she's like, we got a SpaceX suit on. I'm like, yes, there she goes. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
She's Miss Adventure.
She is. I love it. I love it. And she's so funny because she's like, you could do it too. I'm like, man, I got responsibilities, bro. No, I got stuff going on here I need to take care of. It's not in my. I'll get there. You know, because that is my dream, is to get out on the road. But, anyways, that's a whole nother conversation. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But
thank you.
Did you pull up his?
Oh, awesome.
Very good. Hit the web. You got to click on. Oh, she's got it. Okay.
Awesome.
Very good.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So everybody, make sure you go follow Team Ambition Fitness. It's on screen right now, and then you can follow Mr. John M. Robinson, and maybe they can become clients.
Absolutely. Well, Jim, thank you both for having me.
Absolutely.
Maybe next time I do this, I'll have my wife with me. But shout out to my wife, Kalila. I love you, girl. But this has been so much fun. I love your studio. I'm so thankful that you let me be a part of this podcast.
Thank you, man. Listen, this wouldn't be here without you. Okay, and I say that as a guest. The guest. I don't like to do these by myself. I love to have guests. I love to meet people, and I love to meet people like yourself. And you're very inspiring.
Thank you so much.
So absolutely. So I'm gonna be working on my own self.
All good.
All good. Every day now. Not very soon. Get that out of the vocabulary. Do it now. Right?
Yeah. You march to your own drum.
That's it.
You march to your own drum.
But don't say, what I'm saying is like, let's do it right now.
Yes.
Don't say I'm going to do it tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised.
Yes, it isn't.
But you can go ahead and hit the music. Got to turn it up. There you go. Good girl.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you for stopping by, everybody. New producer. We're going to get there. Don't forget, go follow Team Ambition Fitness on Instagram. And where else are you?
Facebook.
Oh, she's muted.
YouTube, same thing. Same name.
Oh,
and
good.
TikTok.
Perfect.
All the same thing.
Perfect. Follow him on all the platforms, and then follow us too, and hit the subscribe button while you're at it, and share some stuff, and hit the little heart. We loved all that stuff. Leave a comment. It could be nasty. I don't mind. Thank you for the algorithm boost. But we'll see you next week. Got some good stuff coming up, and we're looking forward to talking to you again, my friend. Very
Thank
good.
you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
See ya.